Hello, this is part 2 of our Children of the Millenia Patron Feature episode for the holidays. If you have not listened to or watched part 1, I strongly recommend you go back and do so. What we've done is we've had several conversations with these high-level patrons, and a bunch of them. There's going to be a bunch of them featured in this episode, but we basically asked the same questions to all of them, and so I have strung those conversations together where me or Ashley cues up a question, and then the conversation flows from there with kind of all of the patrons featured on top of each other, and Ashley and I chiming in probably much more than we needed to. This is a long episode, and the previous one was pretty long too, so enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your holiday season, and if you are a paid patron, then stay tuned after this episode because you'll get the Afterlife segment featuring our latest discussion of the next episode of Welcome to Derry. And again, thank you to everybody who supports the show. You can sign up to at articulatecoven.com/join. Get more of our stuff early, ad-free, always there at articulatecoven.com/join or on Patreon. Just search for Articulate Coven Pod. All right, I'll see you after the episode. Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal universe, the Vampire Chronicles, Lives of the Mayfair Witches, and the Immortal Universe TV series from AMC and AMC+. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join.
Just because I want to know, I think it's a fun question. Favorite Anne Rice character, least favorite Anne Rice character?
That's easy. They're the same person.
I love this. That's my favorite answer.
It's the best.
And it's not really an Anne Rice character. It's like Rowan Mayfair in the books is amazing.
Yeah.
Like she has a couple of iffy decisions, but I like that she's cold-hearted and she cuts herself off and she's really stoic and she doesn't get hyper emotional.
Yeah.
But then the way that they portrayed her in the TV show, like, oh my God, if I have to see this woman's eyes get big and blue and teary one more time, I'm going to slit my own throat.
At least get her in a fucking bikini if she's going to cry like that all the time.
It's just...
Give me some eye candy.
The difference between the two, it's like...
No, it is. It's awful.
I hate watched the first season, and I haven't watched one episode since.
Wow.
I recorded them on my DVR so they would get credit for the views.
Oh, I love that you did that.
Deleted that.
Bless you.
But it's like, I cannot watch that show. It's like, I adore that book, like with every fiber of my being, and they destroyed it.
Yeah.
Like,
really
I will
did.
badmouth it to anybody that will listen.
I will too.
I tend to agree with you. I am so worried that the third season will be enough that Ashley and I will finally say we cannot follow this show further, and yet AMC will renew it. I've genuinely got my fingers crossed that 3 will be all they go for Mayfair, so that we won't have to make that choice.
Stop.
No,
they haven't even gotten to the books yet.
I think that
they've done 2 seasons and not even touched the books.
No, they got
so
some of the
true.
names right. Some
of the
few
names.
Of the names. But I think season 3. I think part of the reason why they're moving it to Salem and bringing in Michael is going to be whoever the new like co-executive producer is on there.
Yeah,
has actually read the book.
I think it.
We can hope.
Is it Schnoz?
And not just
is it
the
Thomas
Wikipedia.
Schnoz? From it's somebody from Breaking Bad that I really like.
It's the same guy that was in the Talamasca episode Insiders. What's his name?
I mean, I know who the actor is, and he's a good actor. But
the guy playing Michael.
Yeah, the guy playing
he
Michael.
Is.
Yeah,
he's great. He's a looker.
Yeah,
we
it is
like a looker.
I think is it a Better Call Saul producer?
Yeah, it is. He worked on
Thomas Schnoz.
Thomas
yeah,
Schnoz.
That's him.
Hell
So
yeah,
I
Ashley
think-
Kate. Yeah, he worked on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
I think that they're going to try to bring it back and try to salvage it to bring back those people that actually wanted to watch it to begin with and couldn't because
Okay.
it was disgusting.
But when you say things like this, it gives me hope, and I don't need any more hope about this show going into the third fucking season. I have been like Charlie Brown and Lucy in the fucking football with Mayfair every goddamn season.
Nope.
It has been
Yeah.
really bad. It has been really bad. We can just cross our fingers and hope, right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll cross our fingers and hope.
But you're right. Rowan can be best and worst simultaneously. It's
Yeah,
proven.
100% she can be best
Yes.
and worst. She totally qualifies.
Well, I mean, my favorite, of course, is Lestat. You know, what do you do? I do love me some Armand. I love the tortured boys. My least favorite would have to probably be Rosh
Oh, yeah.
for reasons that I'm sure we can all understand. You know, and I found in the later books in the Prince Lestat trilogy that I really Antoine really grew on me, and I was kind of surprised by that. And I found myself being very like having so much like empathy for that poor guy and everything he went through. But yeah, I know it's just, you know, Lestat. I just can't. The dude lives in like my brain every day. Like he's always there, and he's been there for like 30 some years. So he never leaves me, and I'm okay with that.
I tried to explain to Kelly one day that before we did this podcast, it's not that I thought about Lestat less. I just spoke about him out loud less.
Well, and that's why I love you guys, and I love the Coven, because none of my friends give a shit. Like they don't
Oh,
care.
man.
My family is like, my nieces troll me about like, is that vampire guy you always talk about? And I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and none of my friends are, you know, they understand, they know, and they're also used to me just being completely obsessive over things. But to just want to like get into the minutia of everything and just like talk obsessively about these gay vamps, and it's like I got no one here. But then you guys came along, and I was like, well, thank God, I can get it out. I can get it out of me now.
Okay, so favorite, it really, for me, depends on what day it is. So I'm just gonna answer least favorite, Vittorio. And like any characters tied to him is like, in my shrine up there, pretty much the only book between Queen of the Damned and Ramses the Damned, the River of Cyrus, is not first edition, is Vittorio. Because I have no real desire now to get that damn book first edition because of just how boring Vittorio is. I mean, I get it. These are all deleted scenes from Vampire Armand you cannot squeeze in there. Okay, why not do something more creative with it than creating the chat bro of vampires that we all want to backhand half to death? Like, I swear, if we ever get to a point to where we see Marcy's backstory, there needs to be a point from where he just looks over, sees Vittorio, go, huh, he's annoying. Next. We just need that to happen at some point for me. But for favorite, I guess because fact I kind of my own weird categorize of all for characters, I would say for my favorite characters at first, it would be a weird type between Lestat, Michael, Ruben from the Wolfgift novels, the main character from Songs of the Seraphim. If I go with my own version of how I see that series ending, then that main character will also be up there. Maybe sometimes Ramses the Damned here and there, since he does technically exist within the Vampire Chronicles. But yeah, those would be my main picks for that.
Here's what I find so interesting, Zach, is you're effectively talking about the ones that Anne feels are her voice in all of those works, right? When she starts writing Lestat, she's writing Lestat in the image of Stan as she sees him. But Lestat's voice is Anne's voice. It's what Anne wants to do in the world that Lestat's doing. It's definitely the same, I know, for Ruben. Ruben is the character that she aligns with in the Wolf Gift, and it's absolutely the case for Michael. Michael Curry is like, it's just Anne with a penis. I mean, genuinely, like it's like absolutely. That's what she wrote there. All right. Thank you so much, Zach, for all of your support for us. Thank you so much for being so active in the Facebook group, especially, man. Your comments, your feedback. You were one of the early ones that helped cheer me on to do Dark Shadows, too. I want to say thank you for that, especially.
Which honestly for Dark Shadows, I don't think you about because I literally didn't realize I was watching the show until you started reacting to it. And one of our other members, you have Gary
Really?
Stratford, he lived in raging at me to watch this since I first started talking like a decade ago. And I was like, okay, if you react to it, let me watch it. I'm like roughly around episode 700 right now because I had to take a break from it
Oh, wow.
because, 1,245 episodes is a lot.
I almost feel like saying Lestat is my favorite is kind of a cop out because
No, it's
I
all
mean
right.
he's
It's not a cop out, by the way, to say that Lestat is your favorite character. I think it's like almost the default. You can almost give me a secondary character, and I'll just assume you mean other than Lestat when I say who is your favorite character of Anne Rice's. So don't feel bad if that's your favorite character.
In all of Anne Rice is actually really difficult, so I'm just going to narrow myself down to Vampire Chronicles. I really came to love David Talbot after a while. In his first appearances, it was like, whatever. But as the time progressed, especially, I think it was probably around the Merrick era, where he was just like, what is David gonna do now? And he's really not that like prominent of a character. I mean, he's more of a background character than anything after that, but like he still is very interesting in that he's an elegant character. He has this unique little purpose that basically takes over from, everybody writing their own damn books to now he's the one in charge of, writing the history books for people who are so old. But yeah, I really enjoy his character for what it is. If we're,
I think he's so interesting because he's an old character in a book full of young people, except all of the young people are centuries old, right? And then he gets put into a young body, spoiler alert for a very old book, but he gets put into a young body for the rest of his time. And he's the chronicler of these ancient immortals, all centuries older than he is. And it's like, why are you writing why not get Marius to write all these books? What are we, I don't know. It sort of makes sense anyway. David's one of my favorites too. So who's the least favorite?
Oh God. Again, I'm just gonna limit it to Vampire Chronicles because otherwise we could be here all day. But I remember after, finishing up the series was absolutely lack-loving in any way, shape, or form for Roshamandes. He's just sort of like, okay, and that's your whole one dimension. Cool, buddy. Like I just really didn't like him.
You were not the only one to mention Rosh, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you've spoiled the last question there, Mandy, with your favorite character already.
Right.
I'll give you a bonus though. Who's your second favorite? Who's your runner-up after Lestat?
Oh my gosh. I love all the redheads.
I married one. I co-host this show with one. I'm a fan of the redheads too.
Kayla, I see you. Yes, Kayla. This is so good. So yeah, I love Mona. I love Maharet. I love Jesse. I love all of the redheads. And that maybe is just because I love the redheads. I don't know. But I also love Pandora. She's probably one of my favorites. I mean, they're all so great. Honestly, I love to hate Marius just like you guys. I love to hate Armand too. But yeah, the redheads. Let's go with the redheads.
You know what? Ashley and I especially have given Anne a lot of shit over the years for not being able to write her female characters as well as her male characters. But you set the record straight. Maybe there is not the plethora. Maybe the roster is not as deep on the woman's side as it is on the men's side as far as amazing characters. But you listed a handful there that are all outstanding and and high on our list of favorites. So yeah, she doesn't do too bad at the women either. Let's let her off the hook.
No, and I mean, I think I have a lot of sympathy for the character of Gabrielle. It's so fun to listen to you and Ashley talk about her. And I just think in the time in which she was born and her social location, I think that she was probably really resentful of her situation. And that came out probably in her treatment of Lestat and the way that then she handles her transformation. Because she's like, well, I'm not beholden to any of this anymore. And she experiences freedom in a way that Lestat never does because he's a man and he's beautiful and he's turned in his prime.
And Gabrielle, that her experience of that is very different than his. And so they're a very interesting pair. I cannot wait to see what this show is going to do with these two.
And Jennifer Ely is such a godsend
Of
in that
course.
role. She's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Ashley and I haven't really talked about it, but I feel like we've got to do a discussion at some point before season 3, especially now since that's going to wait until summer. We'll do a discussion of the Pride and Prejudice that that she was in.
I would love that so much. You guys have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like that was our our generation's Pride and Prejudice for sure. So yeah, I think we got to. Also,
it is the Pride and Prejudice. There is no other one. I can't believe they're making another version of it. I'm like, what are you guys doing? This one's perfect. This
don't
one
make
is
me
perfect.
defend Mr. Darcy. I can't remember now who somebody was complaining about what a shithill Mr. Darcy was, and I was like, let me tell you about the complexities that are Mr. Darcy. I got a whole list of discussion. You want me to defend a character as strongly as I do Lestat? Let's talk about Mr. Darcy. Anyway, all right.
Sorry, we could go off the rails with books with me.
No,
Sorry.
right? Yeah, we ended up talking to Jolie for almost like an hour the other night. Ashley and I did.
That's hate. I think that's really a difficult one. I'm not sure that there's any character as such. I think if I met him, I would probably want to hit Marius very hard. I have a feeling he would remind
Yes.
me of some of my old bosses back in the 80s. And that there's a reason all the women in his life leave him.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say I don't hate him as a character. I think he's a great character.
Yeah.
I mean, also at times, to be honest, I would want to give Louis a good shaking. But character I really love to hate. Oh, that's really, really difficult. I guess in what I always think of as the main books, which is before the final trilogy, I'd probably have to say Santino. I'm trying to. Is it fair to say Magnus? He's not. I don't know that he's. That's the trouble. There's if I thought about. Oh, if I thought about Mayfair, there's probably a few in there. Oh, actually, oh God, no, Mayfair. That reminds me. In both lots, actually. Yeah. You know who I really, really kind of love to hate. Mona has to be, actually. It's Mona.
Mona's your least favorite?
Probably.
Oh,
I think not in the, but that's the trouble. Not in the it's Blood Canticle that does it for me every time.
Yeah, Blood Canticle. Yeah, so Ashley kind of gave me some smack about my love for Mona, but I genuinely do understand. I think there are a lot of parallels between Mona in the Mayfair series and Lestat. Now, when she gets to Blood Canticle and Blackwood Farm, much less so. But the way that she views herself in the world and the way that she views everyone else's, outlook on her is very similar to Lestat. I think I'm the main character and nobody appreciates it.
So I really love Pandora. I loved that book. I fell in love with that book.
Me too. I fell in love with that
you guys
woman.
were talking about it last week, and I was like, and I do love that book so much better than Blood and Gold, because you're right. Like, Marius is just so fucking
up his own ass.
Yes, and just so there's zero self-realization there. You know what I mean? And also the heartbreak between the two of them. I mean, imagine you make someone and then you search the world for them for was like 1,000 years or something crazy.
And you can hear
you can
hear everyone else's voice but theirs. That'd be it's awful.
It's terrible.
Okay, that's that right there. The idea you want to talk about, like, earlier, not to interrupt you, but I'll give you a few seconds here to think, Jolie. But we were talking about, like, the difference between Interview and the Vampire Lestat. And yes, the Vampire Lestat is like, hey, it is awesome being a vampire and, like, live life to the fullest and nothing, life's a savage garden. Except there is still so much tragedy in his story too. It's
Mhm.
just that like life is not, I tell my kids all the time, life's not beautiful because it's long.
Mhm.
Right. And meaning
Mhm.
like you got to grab everything while it's here. And I feel like that's Lestat's deal too. And it's things like that. The idea that I could create my perfect love, my soulmate, I could turn them into another immortal being just like me, and I could give them all this unfathomable power, except we could never find each other and share communion with each other the same way that I can with fucking
Anyone else.
Armand,
Yeah.
for instance.
Mm. And I love that she talks about that. She talks
Mhm.
about that in the last 3 books when they turn a few people and they talk about having somebody else do it so that
Yes.
they can continue having that conversation with each other. And that's what I mean by them evolving. Like they're even thinking about those things because it's like, oh, I have lost this person for so long. If I do this to you, then we could never have this. So
What is
somebody
this? The
else should do it.
consequences of our actions? Have we learned?
Right.
Yes.
And there's still shit that goes down in those books too. Like,
Of course.
I mean, just some serious gore and like, nope, you don't fuck with us. We're gonna handle our shit. And I love that. So
I told her how much
I-
she's gonna like Thorn in these new
Oh,
books because she's a big
yes.
I'm very.
Thorn
I
fan
like.
from
so
Blood and
I
Gold.
like. I
he just
really
gets
loved
better.
him.
He just gets better. So there's a character that you might not be familiar with, Ashley. His name is Grempt, and I love his storyline. So Lestat, obviously, a number 1, obviously. And then Akasha. I fucking love her. I
yeah,
fucking
she's
love her.
badass.
She's badass. I love how into herself she is. She just like tells herself everything that she wants to hear.
Look, and
And she's like, I'm gonna make it all happen.
I like a bitch out for vengeance. I'm here for
Yeah.
that. I like
I
that.
love it.
Good for her. I'm
Mhm.
here for it. Yeah.
Y'all,
Yeah.
I'm
I love it.
Kelly and I are watching this. We're watching the 50 Cent Puff Daddy documentary on
Oh
Netflix
God, I
right
haven't
now.
watched that yet.
Okay, first of all, a slight spoiler. Much of it was filmed by Puff Daddy.
Yeah,
He hired a
I
guy
know.
to follow him around at the
Yeah.
end and then
Yeah.
didn't pay the guy, and so 50
Yeah.
Cent bought the footage. But
Yeah.
I did think
I
to
love
myself at
50
one point
Cent.
last night, or maybe it was
fucking
today
funny.
actually, talking to Jane about Akasha. But at some point I had the realization that like Akasha would fucking hire a filmographer to walk around with
Yes.
her and film her war crimes. Right?
Yes.
Right? Like, and like Puff Daddy is doing all these things and clearly thinking we will love him for it. And you're
I
like,
think it's one of
you
the
are
reasons.
a sociopath.
Yeah.
I think
Well-
it's one of the reasons why I like the movie so much is that I know it was a failure and all of that. I thought he played Lestat like personality-wise better than Tom Cruise did. I don't think he looked anything like him or anything, but I felt like he carried himself more like the Lestat in my mind than Tom Cruise did. But I loved her and her confidence and her like telling him like you're so precious. Like I love that whole she is a god. She's not, but she is. I mean, when she wakes and just murders everyone, she is. Why wouldn't she believe that?
The one thing, and Jane pointed this out in our conversation earlier, but the one thing that, in retrospect especially, I am excited to see a new actor bring to the role of Akasha is I want to see the strategery and the grand thinking, right?
Yeah.
The Akasha, Aaliyah's Akasha is all of the sexuality and the sensuality and the
Yes.
seduction.
Very
And
surface, but
And it's all of the
Mhm.
ferocity, right?
Mhm.
Like almost an act of God. Like her presence is we
Yeah.
talk about the ancients being like nuclear bombs, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That is absolutely there in the Queen of the Damned movie. But
Yeah.
the planning of Akasha, the idea that for like 4,000 years she sat
she's
still
just
and
been
thought about
sitting
what to
there
do.
pissed off. I love it.
And like lived multiple lifetimes. She would like go and mentally
Project.
find someone
Yes.
and like just live with them until they died. The thought of that is freaking crazy. Who
Yeah.
thinks of that? Who thinks of that? You
Somebody
mentally
trapped in a body
Yeah.
for
And
eternity.
you went and lived in a peasant's body for 80 years, a queen's body for 80 years. Ashley's body for 80 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's living in
Yeah.
all of these different, and so her plan was very calculated. It was from multiple female perspectives. I love that character, but I really love Grempt because I look forward to reading his story. I look forward to hearing it when I listen to the books. He goes through he's like the dog that caught his own tail. He doesn't really quite know what to do with it
That
once
is
he gets
such a
it.
great way to describe it. Yes.
And he mourns his loss while celebrating his gain at the same time. And I feel like that is a lot of humanity as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that whole storyline in particular. It also falls in line with Pandora. So I love that storyline. She takes a lot of things, little minor pieces in other books, and just flourishes them out. And I love that about those books.
I'm excited. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Yeah.
too for you to read it.
We talked about a couple of those moments in Pandora where I'm like, this seems like it's one of those things where Anne had like a stroke in the middle of the page or something. She didn't. I
It's gonna
promise
come
you.
back. It's coming
She
back.
put it in a notebook and she's coming back
Yeah.
to it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I remember like there was a couple of times where I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? And I'm like, wait,
What?
going back to, Pandora reading, like, okay, what? There was
No, she
a
really
lot
put
of
it in
that in
there.
those books. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm so the schedule, by the way, just since we've been talking about this, I'll bring it up here again. We are going straight into, in the new year, we're going to straight into Prince Lestat. We're going to read the Prince Lestat novel in 4 sections over 4 weeks, no movie nights in between. We're going to go right through it. Now, my original plan was we were basically going to double up on episodes for interview for a rewatch. We don't need
We
to
don't
now
need to do
because
that
those
now.
motherfuckers have pushed it off to summer. So like, we could do 1 episode per episode of interview the first 2 seasons of the series, and still be done by May.
Oh, yeah.
So even if they go early summer or something that's actually spring,
Yeah.
but we kind of think of as summer, we're still good, y'all. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Prince Lestat. Then we're gonna rewatch the whole series from go, episode by
Mm.
episode.
I love that.
Treat ourselves.
But after that, I think we're still probably going to be able to put the next 2 Prince Lestat books and have finished the Vampire Chronicles before the Vampire Lestat as a TV series premieres, now that they've pushed it back to summer. I think
Crazy.
we're going to have that kind of time. So we'll see. Maybe they mean June. I
Also-
don't think they mean June, y'all. That's
We
the
can
sad news.
We can hope.
Okay, then
I'm
I
scared
have
they're
to
gonna do
finish the
September.
second part of my question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay
I'm
because I just
terrible.
remembered it. No,
Yes.
it's not you. It was me. I was like totally ready, and then I was like, wait, what
Smells
vampire
like
do I not like the most? It's fucking Armand. The book pisses me off.
I love
I
it.
started reading the book again, and I was like, I can't.
You're like, I've had enough of your bullshit.
I will say, I think Asad and this group, the audience, has given me insight into Armand in a way that when we reread it recently for the show, I say recently, God, everything flows together. When we reread it for the show and did the full book club, I enjoyed his story much more than I ever had before. But the only parts of that book that it's interesting because what I'm going to end up doing is make like an edit for myself of the best chapter. I'll do all of Pandora and then I'll do the best chapters from Blood and Gold and the best chapters from the Vampire Armand.
Yeah, you
so
can get
that
the whole
you get the
story.
whole story.
Yep, that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. I could not get through the book again. I
That's
remember reading it
okay.
and really liking it the first time. And
Yeah.
then he was very unlikable in the series, right? And then you start going back, and then in the last 3 books, he is more likable, but also less in some ways.
Mhm.
He's very violent. In the last
And he's more, I
3
think he's more
books.
bland in those 3 books, at least in my memory.
Mhm.
The colors of Armand that made him such an indelible villain at first, and then someone that you almost fall in love with in spite of yourself through the Devil's Minion stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
And the Night Island stuff, I think, is kind of an interesting period for him. But in those last books, he is not the mover and shaker. He's not the prime mover of any of the narratives. And so whatever decision he makes, it feels like fucking Armand in here again. Why did we bring him back to the party?
I love it. That's funny.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. He just bugs the fuck out of me.
No,
really.
I think
really
that's
does.
a fucking valid point. That's a fucking valid
He just
point.
bugs the fuck out of me. And there's so many of them. Like, I'm sure as we read, I'll be like, oh, I don't like that guy either.
This makes me think of when I joined the Coven. Do y'all still do the questions?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your favorite character besides Lestat?
Lestat. Okay, yes, you can have that caveat. Absolutely.
Oh, I thought that. Yeah, so Lestat's definitely up there, and
Joel just assumes Lestat's everyone's favorite.
Of course, of course.
I'm so rarely wrong.
We we do. I've definitely fallen in love. And we were talking about how Louis annoyed me at first as I went on in the books, and definitely by the end I just see him as this person that I love. I was able to reconcile my feelings toward myself, but then my feelings toward Louis, and I just I love this little house burning vampire.
I know, that sweetest little pyromaniac in the world. I love him.
It's just him and Drew Barrymore from Firestarter.
I'd let him burn down my hovel. He could burn down my shack in the back. That's fine.
But there's just there's so many great characters. Like, I could think of one that, let's see, least favorite.
Maybe least favorite isn't a fair question. And mine used to be Santiago until that fucking asshole came along in season 2 of Interview.
At least he had a presence.
That I did think Santiago did come up for me, and then I did think that I was like, man, that guy made him cool though, and
he did. He fucking did.
So good in the show.
In the book, though, he was somebody that you wanted to get the side.
Oh yeah, you were like.
So,
but
that's what the show's going to do to Santino, Ashley. The show's going to make us like Santino too.
Absolutely not. Absolutely, surely not. We can't.
It's going to be some real schmuck we love to watch.
How dare they be so good at casting?
Comeuppance. I know, right? Darn them.
How dare these characters be so good on the page?
Well, listening to everybody previously, I guess I'm the outlier. Armand has always been and always will be my very favorite.
I love it.
And I will make my argument that here's someone who has gone through and caused very terrible things, but Armand maintains a curiosity and an enthusiasm for the world, which some of them do not have, and that endures with him. And yeah, I'm a devil's minion girly, so that's probably my place in the world, but I've always appreciated him, and I like holding him up as a mirror to not only myself but other people of like, okay, I think there's just a lot in Armand's imperfections that he can teach the world. And on the other side of the coin, I feel like if I don't say Marius, my friends are going to come for me. But because I think we all know, like, there's just enough to be written about the terribleness that is him. But I think my B answer would probably be any of the new characters that are in Realms of Atlantis. Just because, have you ever like just read a sequel or seen a sequel in the theater and you just realize like, I'm just going to forget that this exists and I'm just going to go to the next thing? Like, that is Realms of Atlantis for me. Like, I don't need to know that it exists. Like, I'm excited to hear your guys' take on it. It's going to be hilarious, but I love the books after that. And I just feel like that if I could just like memory lapse or forget that whole book of characters.
Memory hole, that one.
Yeah.
So I'll say somebody else in this series of recordings, they mentioned Realms of Atlantis specifically as a great example of how Anne continued to push this idea of otherness.
Yeah.
And how even for this universe where we have vampires and witches and Ramses who is immortal through a potion and all of these different things, here in Realms of Atlantis, we get a new way of otherness. And even this group of outsiders finds themselves thinking, oh, they're the dangerous ones, and they're the ones that we can't trust and have to worry about. And so we're forced to confront it again, which I had never really considered in that way. And it really did give me something to think about as we get close to approaching it. So we're going to do Prince Lestat to start 2026. So we'll be at Realms of Atlantis. I honestly, I don't know if we'll have time to do Realms of Atlantis before the Vampire Lestat comes out, the TV show comes out, but maybe we might do all three of the Prince Lestat trilogy before the TV show comes. So we'll just have to see.
It's funny that you mention her otherness because that is such a big piece when you go and read her journals. Like, I actually have a quote that from her journals when she had just come out of writing all of the Jesus novel and was really trying to put aside the vampire novels. Like, you can see her process of like, I really need to put this aside. But she mentioned in one of them, like, I keep this up on my computer. So she said something that was important to her was that, quote, the position of the outsider encourages both great love and wisdom. And she was so attuned to that. That was her, something that I just appreciate about her so much, is that she always had a place at the table for everyone. So
boy, that's so well said. Empathy is bred so much easier on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, first and foremost, it's easier to see other people's plights when you have your own, right? So when you yourself are persecuted or ostracized in some way, it's easier to empathize with anyone who is also ostracized or othered or separated. But more than that, I think even you're looking at how can I get back in? Yeah. Right? So you are looking hard at the problems of those that are othering you. What is it that's broken in you? Why is your day terrible today? And how can I help fix it so that you are less angry with me? And I think that is the lesson of Anne Rice's work. And I think it's really like, that's at what the core of everything she does. You mentioned the Jesus novels. Her Jesus is just another, it's like, I'm different and you all hate me for it. And I'm just here to love you. And I just have I have something that would add to what you all have if you would just let me share it and understand me and try to accept me for who I am. I mean, it genuinely is just another swing at otherness. I hadn't thought about it in that way, but man, this lady writes a good book. I don't know if y'all know it.
Absolutely, she does.
Well, I'm not going to say Lestat, although it's probably Lestat favorite. I'll do a deeper cut for favorite.
Oh, I
and
like
go
it.
with Flavius from Pandora.
I love Flavius.
I love me a sassy gay butler. Like he was.
I do too. I want
come
a
on.
Flavius in my life.
Joel, don't tell me
Alfred.
if he shows up. Look. Pandora needs an Alfred. Like
she
he's
does.
gay Alfred.
I'm hoping,
God,
and
I
don't
love
tell
him.
me, don't spoil it. I'm hoping he shows up in the Prince Lestat books.
I'll tell you,
would
I
like
can't remember, Patrick. I've got my
good.
fingers crossed too. I can't remember whether he does or not.
I'm watching
So, there
Jania's
you go.
face.
All right. It's
We'll
reading
keep our
books in
fingers crossed,
it's reading
Patrick.
books in our late middle age.
So we just
Yeah.
recorded our tier listing the other day. I don't know. That's
Yes,
not,
I heard it.
It's up.
So
It
I
went
went
up.
off about Flavius in that because I just fucking love that character so much.
He's
God,
the
but
perfect
now
example too. He's the perfect example too, though. She should have written more of those side
I would
books.
love a whole
She should have
book.
written so more of those side books. So many more of
And
those.
maybe he's got a leg. You know, one could hope.
Something.
Like a vampire leg.
Oh my god, he got a vampire leg like Maharat's eyes. Jesus
He's got a press on leg, you know, that he's has to swap out like a Mr. Potato Head every couple of weeks.
I love that idea so much.
Least favorite, and I'm saying this ironically because I don't dislike it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love what is his name, Mael, just
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's petty for a whole book with Marius.
Mhm.
I just dig the pettiness, which I think people think is like an invention of the show, like that they jacked up the drama in the show.
Oh,
But like
no.
the
These
book
fuckers are
vampires
petty
are
as
so
hell.
petty.
When you have eternity to be a little cunt, you're gonna be a little cunt.
So here's my favorite example of this. I was so happy to see this scene in the show that it was like the only scene that was really from the Vampire Lestat that made its way into the second season. This scene that I fucking love of Lestat going into the to confront the catacomb
Coven under
vampires.
the
Yes.
the catacombs. Yeah.
These basic ass vampires that are like
Yeah.
living under the Coven, hanging out with skulls
Messy
and shit. And
bitches.
but I love that in Armand's description of that scene, we all know that Gabrielle is in that scene.
Mhm.
And I really am hoping that it turns out that she's actually in the scene in the show. And he just was kind of like, oh, was she there?
He just
I don't
fucking left
remember if
her
she was-
out of it.
because he hates her, and he's gone to great lengths in his book to talk about how nobody likes her.
Oh my God, you're
And-
totally right.
You're 100% right, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait for him to explain himself on how he forgot to mention that Gabrielle was there when Daniel confronts him
I
about it.
cannot
'cause
wait
he's-
to watch Jennifer Ely just fucking decimate that role. I think she's going to be so good.
His
Yeah.
energy is very like Mariah Carey, like I don't know her, kind of like that kind of thing, you know. Who?
Yeah.
Who is she? Gabrielle.
Who
I
dat?
don't know.
Who dat?
Yeah.
Gabriella? I don't know. I don't remember. It doesn't ring a bell. I'm sorry. Interesting.
Sounds like a trollop.
It's
Sounds like
funny.
Sounds like a
if
sunflower.
If Lestat had a mother, I thought she would have taught him how to read. I don't. That's
I don't
weird.
know. It's
That's
so weird. It's so weird.
Strange. I didn't know he had a mother.
He is the messiest bitch in the Vampire Chronicles by a long shot, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Mael is such a good choice, by the way, for least favorite because he is just the cuntiest. He's angry. He's angry at Marius for not being excited about being abducted and made a blood god. He's angry at Marius when he leaves. He's angry at Avicus because Avicus might leave him someday. He's angry at Marius because he doesn't share the queen with them. And then he's angry at Marius because he does share the queen with anybody. Like, he's just angry all the time. And then what does he do? He gets Maharet. He gets the second most powerful vampire in existence to be his muse for the rest of time. And he gets her great-great-granddaughter as his partner. Like, get over yourself, Mael. Anyway.
I do love the whole sequence in Queen of the Damned where it's the whole Jessie chapter where, and she doesn't get enough credit for being funny, but she
No,
writes
she's
this
so good.
this whole sequence where these vampires have this mortal house guest and they have to pretend to be human like it's the fucking birdcage, you know, and they're
Yes,
all
oh my
like
God,
going
yes.
through this elaborate farce to kind of convince her that they're all human beings.
We're
and
all
he's-
moving around this meatball on one plate. It's like, no, yeah, we're totally eating. Don't even worry about
So
it.
I think Mael is sort of the Agador Spartacus of that whole like situation over there.
I never wear shoes because they make me fall down.
Which is so Mael. I'm sure he doesn't wear shoes.
I bet he doesn't wear shoes, dusty bastard.
In the grove, we didn't wear shoes. The druids don't believe in footwear. We must be grounded to Mother Earth.
See,
All right.
I always read the books via on my Kindle, so you guys seem to have a different experience from reading the audiobooks. With I remember you were talking about, I think it was maybe Blood Canticle, where Michael Curry had like an Irish brogue, and
Oh
how
my
they
God,
make sort
yes.
of crazy choices.
Oh yeah,
and I
Joel
guess
was,
Mael
Joel,
has
that
like a
one
pirate
pissed Joel
accent.
off. Yeah.
So Mael he does have this weird gruff voice it comes off as like, I don't know. He reads like a ship, like a pirate, sort of like a ship captain. Like he's always at sea, and he's like, "Let me tell you the rules of this
It's
ship."
Quint. It's
Yeah,
Quint.
it's Quint. It's like we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Because nothing is ever good enough for Mael.
Nothing is ever good enough for Mael.
I mean, to be a little cliche, my favorite is Lestat. And I didn't used to think so. I used to identify a lot more with the redheads, as we say, like obviously, and there's still so much love for those characters, both as like a young woman, a nerdy woman, a redhead, someone who grew up experiencing the paranormal and supernatural in a world that really forbade it and made it taboo. Um, but when I first experienced Lestat as a child, and from that child's perspective, he and Louis were those dark angels that were taking me away from the hell that was my home. And so in my child, in my girl mind, he was there, that escape for me. And as I became a teenager and I was questioning God and I was reading more of these books as her works and her thoughts evolved and Lestat evolves and asks those bigger questions and explores his body through Tale of the Body Thief. I'm literally growing up with Lestat as he is growing up in his vampirism. And I took probably a 10-year break reading those books from high school and into my early 20s. And I was introducing them to Kyle as we were building a relationship. We bonded over her bonded over her words, quite literally. But that's another trilogy, wink wink. um he was helping me to train my brain for audiobooks. I've always struggled with it, and I wanted to try and be able to listen to audiobooks and podcasts. And we started doing that with another podcast about Batman the Animated Series, but I thought, let's give Anne Rice another read. Um, and aside from the final trilogy that I read as it was coming out, I hadn't read any of those books probably since I was 18 or so. And so I started listening to the audiobooks, and at the same time, I'm experiencing a mental health crisis and this growth and change and break and all of these things that I no longer know who I am. And I'm taking these books in and I'm seeing Lestat from a whole new perspective because first he was a childhood hero, then he was a companion to grow in my body, and then as an adult I am seeing him as another adult. And I'm looking at his story and the ways that he describes being a very emotional being, weeping at everything. He talks about all of these things that as a person who became diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, I very heavily related to. And it did become this more fantastical way of loving him, and growing and healing with this character that was also doing the same thing.
Lestat, I am not physically like Lestat in almost any ways. However,
Correct. Same.
the fact that he cries at just everything, happy and sad and maudlin and memories and hopeful, and any of it can trigger his tears. He and I are so alike in that way. Kelly, so often, like, she'll get up in the morning and we'll be seeing each other talking for the first time in a day, and she'll be like, oh, hey, I've got this video that I want to show you. Or the end of the day, maybe we'll be catching up. She'll be like, hey, I got this reel I want to show you, or this thing I saw on Facebook that I want to show you. And I always have to preface it with like, but is it going to make me cry? And she's like, sometimes she's like, yes, as a matter of fact, this one is going to make you cry. I do want you to see it, though. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. I just need to know. I do like to know rather than be like waylaid. Every now and again, I'm like in a great mood, like things are going well. And then she shows me something that will make me like reprocess my grief for my father's death or something. And I'm like, ma'am, I have
Trigger
to go back
warning.
to work now. But also, like, it could. The other day, she showed me this beautiful, and I know it's gone viral, so many of you that are listening to this or watching it have probably seen it. But there's a viral clip of a school choir, singing "Creep" by Radiohead. Have you seen that video that went around? It's a young African American singer. It's, first of all, "Creep's" one of my favorite songs ever. It's one to speak of all these things that we have been talking about with Lestat. Like, I think it's so readily aligns with the way that Lestat feels about himself, right? Lestat, the reason why Lestat chases Louis for 200 years is because he feels like Louis is perfect and righteous and special in a way that Lestat does not feel in his heart. Lestat, I always talk about Lestat being the Tinkerbell like I am, right? Like he needs the applause to live. But the reason why he has that hole inside of himself is because he knows he's not a healthy, whole human being, right? So all of us that are broken in any of those ways, these characters are a way for us to process that. And as you said so perfectly, Kayla, to process it across our lives, right? When we're young, we can align and we can say, yes, Lestat's right and everybody's wrong. In our 40s now, for me, I look back and I watch these and I go, boy, I made so many stupid mistakes because I wouldn't listen to my loving coven around me that was giving me good advice and that wanted to see the best for me, right? But I'm racing ahead because I'm a broken human being. Anyway, it's beautiful to revisit these novels over time, and I think the TV show is going to hold up in that same way. And I think that already younger fans than you and you talked about having to learn how to read audiobooks, right? I think the same thing is true for books, period. A lot of people, they don't know how to process these metaphors and these ideas in literature, and yet they can do it through a TV show. That's going to bring them to the books long term anyway. And the important thing is that they get this understanding of themselves through these characters, which you and I got.
That's something that I'm seeing. I'm not on other social media platforms much. Like I don't do Twitter, TikTok every once in a while. But when I am on like the TikTok, and I see so many young content creators raving about this, a lot of what I'm seeing is them exploring these very same metaphors, these very same things through the TV show that I was experiencing through reading them, which tells me they got it right. They captured the spirit so wonderfully, and that not only can like just to go there, like young white kids identify with this, but now to expand it so much and to include such a broader demographic across the board for people of color, for queerness, and to still get all of the spirit and essence of this story right for younger readers, people that are taking it in. They don't even care about the books yet. Like they're obsessed with finding themselves in this show and seeing these things, and now they're going to the books, and it's just revitalizing that hunger for her works. It will keep her immortal. Yeah.
100% it will. 100% it will. I'm not going to let you off your hook. Who's your least favorite character?
Oh, they're going to come for me for this one. Akasha.
I want to hear the argument. I don't disagree with you. She's obviously one of the villains of the piece, right? There aren't that many villains.
Right. She's obviously a villain. Yeah.
Who's a villain of the last books, you know. So, but why Akasha in particular stands out for you?
So, like seeing the film, like having my first exposure to her in the film, and it being this like majestic, like we don't really know why she just wants to take over the world. It was very lackluster in my first exposure, and getting to read the novel even as a young teenager. Listen, I can complain about men all day long, okay? But a misandrist I am not. And I just feel like 95% of the population is extreme.
Somebody mentioned Akasha as their favorite, Kayla, and I can't remember who now, but when they did, they said something about Joel, you know, I hate to say it, but like Akasha may have been, and I said, now I'll just point out, Akasha did not say all men. She just said most men, right? And I would like to say, I would be happy to lead the organization of the herd, right? I'd keep them in line. I'd make them appreciative of their matriarchal overlords. We would be such good herdsmen. It would not be a problem for you all. Anyway, Akasha would love me. I would not have to go anywhere.
But, you know, and I like 100%. I am such a not all men, and I do all the time. And I have to, because I will go on my rants. I love a good rant and soapbox. But I feel like that character was so rooted in this sense of like entitlement. And like, oh, baby, you were a queen, like you had everything, and then like rar, you got to rule in bloodlust for an indeterminate amount of time before you just went to sleep. Like you were just bored and went to sleep and kept underground, and like you didn't want to fuck with the world anymore. Like I get it. Being in charge is exhausting. Men are exhausting. But baby, you got to take a 6,000-year nap and wake up and just be like, no, no, men are the problem. They're all the problem. I'm the queen. We're done with this. Weak. Oh, like it's just such a weak. But in theory, it's like, yeah, we could probably get rid of a lot of them. But in just breaking down, like, how affected I was by that argument, and it's like, that's what we're gonna do? Like, we're just gonna... That's what undoes you? Is your male-centered rage?
Here's my suggestion, Kayla. What we do is we test out Akasha's theory in government, not in executions, right? We just make it 95% of the male population of government is out of a job, and we start there, replace them. 5% can remain. Also, we put in an age limit. If you're 65 plus, you fucking go.
You're out.
I'm sorry.
Automatic retirement. I agree. Yeah, I concur.
So, which book is your favorite of Anne's book? It doesn't have to be a Vampire Chronicles book, by the way.
I am going to be honest with you. I have only ever read the Vampire Chronicles of Anne.
Oh,
And
wow.
I've read them multiple, like I was
Right.
just telling my husband, I was trying to think of how many times, but I've read them all probably 3 times and listened to them all probably 3. And then the last 3 are my favorite because they're just so crazy. But I've
love
listened to
that.
them. Oh my
The Prince
God.
Lestat trilogy is your favorite.
Yes, it's my
I love that.
favorite.
Ashley,
Favorite.
you were not on the conversation for this, but this is awesome because I'm going to get to insert this earlier in this episode. Jane Proust, one of our patrons from overseas, she's in London, I believe.
I love that she popped
Oh,
on. That's
cool.
awesome.
What's up, Jane from London?
But she mentioned to her, she does not consider the Prince Lestat trilogy the Vampire Chronicles. It's like a speculative
separate-
sequel that Anne wrote years later, which I think is crazy. And I sort of even like pointed at her on this because that means that you end on Blood Canticle. Oh my goodness.
But
Right,
we
yeah,
discussed
right,
how
right,
that would be
right.
a really shitty place to leave everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it would be either. It sort of moves between 3, depending on how I'm feeling. It would be either Queen of the Damned, Vampire Lestat, or the Vampire Armand. Probably, if you really, really push me, Queen of the Damned.
I have such a personal affinity for the Vampire Lestat. Like that novel and the introduction to that character is it's so nostalgic for me. I mean, I turn into a 12, 13-year-old again immediately every time I read it. And I'm just in love with this blonde guy that I couldn't imagine being real, But Queen of the Damned is such an accomplishment. And we were talking about this in our tier ranking episode recently. Queen of the Damned is such an accomplishment as a novel because she does so much in it. And yet it never feels like it drags. I don't hear anyone saying that they get lost in the middle of it like you hear people say they get lost in the middle of The Witching Hour, for instance, right?
No, it is. I mean, I think to me it's just the sheer breadth of it, the keeping hold of all these different threads that are going through. It's just amazing. You've got all these different sort of almost little parallel universes running along. It's so complex. And you've got Lestat and Akasha, you've got Louis, you've got the whole Devil's Minion bit with Armand and Daniel, which just blew my mind the first time I read that. I really remember that. But you've also got Jessie and what she's doing, and Claudia's ghost, and it's all these, and the twins, and And also, I mean, right, the start bit, Baby Jenks and the Fan Gang, I just love that. There's all these
Yes.
little sort of vignettes going on. It's so complex and there's so many layers to it. I just think it's really, I think it's really great.
For the TV series, Roland Jones has said repeatedly that the Vampire Lestat novel, season 3 of the show, was what really drug him into this job to begin with. But I do think it is interesting that so much of what we've already seen play out in the show is really from Queen of the Damned. We've met Killer already. We've set up Baby Jinx to be in season 3. We're going to see, we've already sort of gotten hints of Claudia's ghost, maybe, for instance. So I think there's a great love for Queen of the Damned that we just haven't talked about quite as much as we have for the Vampire Lestat.
Yeah, I think so. And I think they've handled it really. I think they've been really smart how they've handled it, how they're pulling in elements from the later books. I mean, the bit, for example, they've already done the Louis and the Sun and from Merrick and the rest.
No, you're 100% right. It really is impressive how much he's already woven in from later books in the series. And so there is a part of me that worries now that he's got Grapes of Wrath working and like this show is starting to build buzz and he's done his favorite book in the series, if Roland might exit and, go try some other mountain. But there's so much on the cusp that he's already laid the groundwork that I hope he stays around for many more seasons to come.
I hope so, because I sort of really do feel, he gets it. He really sort of gets it in a way that, I mean, when the film came out, I enjoyed the film. I still don't think Tom Cruise was right.
No.
But it was a decent film and I enjoyed it. But this is a whole other level. It really is.
That's exactly how I feel. That's like the 94, especially when you put it in the context of the time. It's impressive that we got the version that we got at that time, and it's like, boy, we how lucky were we that it was that good with all the circumstances set against it. And I think that's proven out by the fact that Queen of the Damned is such a terrible adaptation. Like, you might like the style of it, you might have a personal affinity for Stuart Townsend because you were 15 at the time or whatever, but
really, no,
that's not a good movie.
No, it's not. I think it's such a shame. I don't know what they were trying to do with that film, to be honest.
I genuinely think, Jane, it comes down to, it was a contract issue, right? They were running out of time on the rights and they needed to get a movie made so that they could maintain the rights for possibly making something down the road. This is what we've seen recently with superhero genres. Fox was putting out a Fantastic Four movie every couple of years because they had to, or Disney was going to get the rights back. So anyway, it's bad when those sorts of things affect our own favorite properties.
But no, I don't. I don't think it's a great film. And I mean, this is probably a bit controversial. Alia, I think she's great at what she's asked to do. I think she turns in a great performance, but it's not Akasha. Really, I just don't. I think the whole thing is just.
No, you said it perfectly. She does a wonderful performance for what she was asked to do. It's just not actually what we hope we get. The Akasha on the page is this interesting, compelling figure who is like fundamentally flawed. She's got some holes in her own heart that she's trying to fill desperately throughout her life, whereas Aaliyah is all of the alluring and the terrifying aspects of Akasha, but basically just that, right? Yeah,
exactly. And I always think she's kind of like Akasha, as Akasha would be if she was Scary Spice from the Spice Girls. And it's great. And the sort of, 15, 20 minutes she's on screen. She lights
it's
it
a
up
tiny amount.
It really does take the movie up a level, but it's not Akasha.
But I do love, and she poo-poos the Rowan and the Mona that we meet in that book too. But I do love that Anne's books hit so many people in so many different ways, and there's something in all of them that is somebody's favorite. You know,
I
that's
I think
I think that's awesome.
I read them like the Vampire Lestat. You had said the other day when the Queen of the Damned came out, and I couldn't remember when
So
that was.
88.
Okay, so I would have read all of those. Like I think it was 92 when I got introduced to them. So I would have had maybe up to Tale of the Body Thief
Yeah, Tale of the Body Thief, I
to read
think, comes
through.
out in 93. I think
Okay,
that's
so I
in
wait till
93,
that
but it
one
may have
came
been
out.
92.
Yeah.
I would have to say that literally as I read them, it was like, oh, that's my favorite now. Oh,
Yeah.
that's my
I
favorite
will.
now. Oh,
That's
that's my favorite now. I really go back and forth between I love Queen of the Damned because I love how she's
yeah.
like, kill all the men. And
It's
I'm like,
fucking bonkers too,
no
man. It's such
offense,
a like,
Joel, but there's part of me that's like, fucking A, it would solve so many problems.
To be
man.
fair, Akasha's official plan is not all men, and I
No,
I
you're
am
right. You're
for
right. Not all
not
men.
all
Not all
men,
men. You're right. You're
just
right. Not all
most
men.
of
Most
them,
men.
Just
most of them.
the men. And like
I would
always
like the
on the
Queen.
read through.
I told Nancy, I'll tell the two of you as well. I would be a very compliant manservant. Not a problem at all. I would.
Yeah, you just
go.
want you just want to be managed, so you're fine with that.
I would
But
lead
then,
I would lead the herd of the men too. Like I would do such a good job bossing them around. It would be fantastic. Anyway.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I'm here for it. And then it
We
was
just
like
need to-
Tale of the Body Thief is so fun
It's
and
so
fast.
fun.
Yes.
It's so fun and so
Mhm.
fast. And I am so excited that like I just pray we get to that in
Yeah.
AMC because can you just imagine like jumping in and out of bodies and like all of a sudden so and so is here and then they're in the body and out of the body and it would be so cool.
I always love when that concept is used in a film, and particularly in films, because you can really just like to see an actor be playing a character that they're
You're just a
playing
dude playing another
character.
dude playing
Yeah,
another
it's like
dude
the
inside of a
inception
dude.
of it. And then there's like the whole like second layer of these are characters, but you're an actor, so you have to act like that actor too. It's just bananas. I love it. I love it when it works. It's so good.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's that specific idea, and it happened when we were watching Talamasca this last season when Raglan
Yes.
James appears. It
Mhm.
just clicked for me, and I was like, oh, they are for sure
Yes.
going to give us at least a scene where Sam gets to play
I think so, too.
Raglan and Justin Kirk gets to play Sam. Like
Mhm.
that is 100% gonna happen.
I'm
We're gonna get
dying
Justin
for
Kirk's
it.
terrible French accent.
Dying
Right?
for it. Dying for it, y'all.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And then like when I was leaving the church was I would say I don't know if it was like around the same time, but Memnoch the Devil really threw me for a fucking loop. Like it really when you're encased in the religious rite of it all. I mean, I went to a private Christian college.
Mhm.
I have a minor in Bible. Like
Wow.
and when I
Just in Bible.
when you just in Bible, minor in Bible. Yeah, and legitimately though, every single person that leaves that school walks out with a minor in the word of the Lord. You take
Yeah.
theology 1 and 2, New Testament 1 and 2, Old Testament 1 and 2. I mean, like it is all through. It's a required minor of your other studies. But when I left that, was right around the same time or within that like time frame, and it just I had never thought like that before, right? You were never allowed to think
Right.
like that before. You're like, is it a sin for me to even read this? He's drinking for like what the bonkers.
Just the very concept that like the most fundamental, and I don't know that we've ever talked about this on the show, Ashley, other than I guess probably in our actual book discussions of Memnoch. We must have covered it. But Memnoch's assertion that like the major flaw in God's whole thing is that he sort of accidentally gave us consciousness
Mhm.
and the ability to perceive what he did to us. Like without a plan for it. Ultimately,
Mhm.
that was the thought. That
Like,
that whole
irresponsible.
assertion.
That's irresponsible, God.
An irresponsible
It was.
deity,
Mhm.
and the idea. You're right.
It
Like the
just
very
flipped
idea of
the
even having
entire
that.
thing on. Yes.
Yes, I was with
It
you.
flipped the entire thing on its head. And I
Meanwhile,
was
my
like,
my heathen ass was just
"What?"
like
I was like,
the thing that I was the
What?
most shocked in that book was the fucking him drinking the menstruation.
Minstrel blood. Yeah.
Like,
oh
the
my God.
minstrel
I'm going
blood-
to tell you, I thought that was fucking hot. I was like, oh yeah, you
I
get
just-
yours
that's the
while
thing.
I get mine. Yes.
That is the
Like-
thing that I was the most like shocked and taken aback by in that book, which just speaks to the absolute lack of religion in my life.
I think that listen, I have done some crazy shit. And that like between a man and a woman, I'm like, that's not for me. But when you and I've known people that are like into that, not
Yeah.
for me. But when you turn it around and now like this is someone's like literal lifeblood, you're like,
And that's a
I'm
vampire?
literally
Mm.
feeding you.
Listen, I'll just say this because
I
I
love
am a
it.
gentleman. I have never cosplayed,
Well,
but
Listen,
you know,
I don't
you
judge.
have a lot
I
of
don't
free
judge.
time to pick up a new hobby, Joel.
I don't judge, and I think everyone should try something at least twice. If you hate it, you definitely need to try it again to know if you don't like it for sure. So
I'm with you on that. Actually, Jolie, that's a good rule that I like in my own life.
feel free to cut any or all of that.
No, that was all amazing. Why would I cut any of that? I'm telling you, this episode's going to be fucking 4 hours long. It's going to be longer than that, honestly, in the end. That's good. You guys all deserve a good Christmas present. Honestly, this has been such a good year for us. We've really enjoyed it. My buddy Stuart, who isn't even like he's read the books when he was young, but he doesn't listen to the podcast until I think recently. He and his partner started listening to it because they were in New Orleans with us.
Because they were.
But he
on
was
it.
like, everybody
on
that I spoke, he's like, everybody that I spoke to, though, everybody that we spoke to was fucking interesting and polite and eloquent. Like,
what kind of people does he think we attract, Joel?
For real.
so I was telling this to my mom though, and she goes,
the
Joel,
audacity.
you just grew a big book club. Did you think dummies were going to sign up for it?
Right.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like when you say the Facebook group feels like a place to you. I
Mhm.
want to I think that too, and it's almost like I've almost visualized
Yeah.
all of us like sitting around like a
Yes.
cozy room with a lot of fireplaces, like the Gryffindor common room or something
Yes.
like that, where we can sit and
Yes.
read books and talk and have
okay,
warm cocoa.
it's
and-
cheers. It's cheers for me,
It's
y'all.
cheers.
It's not the
That's
Gryffindor
great.
common
I
room.
like
I'm sorry,
We
but
can drink
I
whiskey
will
in the
say,
Gryffindor common room. It's okay.
man,
We're adults.
if the
We're
if the
adults.
metaverse wasn't so lame, we would absolutely just all get fucking MetaQuest headsets and hang out together. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, it is for real a place. It's for real a place. Absolutely, it's a
Yeah.
place. And it
Yeah.
is a place where people are welcome. Like, as long as you're not, listen, you don't have to be legitimataqua, as
Right.
my one of my kids showed me a reel the other day. He's like, isn't it fun to pronounce? It is kind of fun to pronounce, actually. But you don't have to be that, or you don't even have to be like a loud ally or a political activist, as long as you're not a dickhead and you enjoy. Listen, do you enjoy fiction that ventures into the idea of otherness? I think that's the combining factor that we share across all of Anne's work and across all the other things that we talk about. Nosferatu and Sinners, all of that shit is about using the idea of otherness inside of a metaphor that's mostly about ghosties and ghoulies.
And let me take that to like the last 3 books,
Please.
right? Because I think that the idea of otherness is very well explored in those last 3 books without getting too much into it, because
Yes.
I know that we haven't read it as a group yet.
I haven't read it at all yet.
I'm so excited.
I'm starting the first one probably this weekend.
Yeah, me
I'm so
too.
excited. I'm so excited. And if you have a chance to listen to them, because Simon Vance is 100% the best reader on the planet, besides the guy who read Harry Potter, the 2 of them are
Just phenomenal.
Oh, okay. Which guy that read Harry Potter though? Do you like Stephen Fry or do you like Jim Dale?
Oh.
Most people I know
I think
like
it's
Jim
Jim
Dale.
Dale.
Okay,
I
Jim
think
Dale
it's
is the
Jim
one that
Dale.
most Americans have read and listened to. I must have had like bootleg copies. The British versions were read by Stephen Fry.
I could very much expect you to have bootleg copies of that.
And then in the end, I think both versions are
looking
now
now, hang
available
on.
in the States. So Jim Dale is, if you don't know that name off the top of your head, Jim Dale is, boy, I started to make a reference to a movie and I'm like, people will know that much less than the audiobook versions
Yeah.
of Harry Potter. Jim Dale is the bad guy in Pete's Dragon, the original version from Disney.
Okay, yeah.
Holy
It's
shit.
Jim Dale.
He's
Jim
the
Dale.
Passamaquoddy, Passamawuddy, Passamahoozy. He's the guy that sings that song.
I have not watched Pete's Dragon in
That original version of
probably-
Pete's Dragon is dope, y'all. Go back and watch
God,
it. It's
in
real good.
probably
that.
25, 30 years.
The new version's good too. I was arms crossed when that new version, when the trailer came
I
out,
am not
because
gonna
it
like
seemed
this.
like they were not doing the old movie at all, and they don't. It's a very different story, but the new version is good too, and the dragon is one of the best CGI creations I think of all time. It generally is very
Okay.
cool, but the original version though. First of all, it's a musical, and Jim
Mm-hmm.
Dale has not just that Passamaquoddy song, which is great, but he
Mhm.
also does this song, and I sing it all the time. Money, money, money by the pound. Money, money, money by the pound. It runs through my head all the time. Anyway, that's a great movie. Y'all should go see it. But his
That's
narration, and the Harry Potter, those are not the only ones that he's done. He's done a bunch of
Yeah.
children's literature,
Oh, okay, I'll have
especially.
to go look. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great narrator. Those are good.
But
Stephen
I
Fry,
love
I think,
him,
does
and
a
I
better
love-
voice.
I feel like I have read things with Stephen. Isn't he also an author?
He's an
actor.
actor.
Yeah, he's written some stuff, but he also
Okay.
hosts. He's an actor and he hosts
A lot of panel
QI
shows. Yeah.
on the
Oh,
BBC.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes. Okay. I know who that is now. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Very snooty son of a bitch, but in a way that we tend to enjoy.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Simon Vance reads them, except up until the last one, and then the fucking boyfriend reads it, and it just pisses me off. I'm telling you, because he's like, "I'm the vampire Lestat," and I'm like, "No, you are not, my friend. No, you are not. You are not."
Eric
My
Shaw Quinn's the
vampire
narrator
Lestat.
for that last one. He is a lovely man and a
Listen,
good
I'm sure
author.
he's a fantastic person. Nothing against him personally.
No,
I
I'm
do love
very
him.
particular about audiobook narration. Like,
Yeah.
I
We
will.
went from Simon Vance to an effeminate gay man and a southern effeminate gay man, and
It
and
just was not a good fit. You're right.
It's
You're
night
right.
and
It
day
was not a
difference.
good fit.
Yeah,
really
unless it's
isn't.
unless you got Leslie Jordan, for just the novelty of it, for a
Listen.
sassy Southern gay
Listen.
man,
Listen.
effeminate.
Well, shit. What are y'all doing? I'm 6 foot tall, which was real good in the 1700s. It ain't
He's
bad
like this
now.
close.
Stop.
Well, shit. He's
Well,
always like right
shit.
there, close to the
Stop.
freaking thing.
Y'all are killing me.
Anyway, the last 3 books talk about otherism. There is less gender involved, even though there
Mhm.
isn't really gender in vampires in general.
No.
It
Right.
really washes, besides explaining who everyone is in the series, and sort of they all like kind of come together, which is phenomenal. But they've
Yeah, I'm
all
really excited about
evolved.
that.
Yes. And like Lestat is not who he is in Interview or with the vampire Lestat or in any of those other books. He evolves
Yeah.
to a completely different level, vibration, if you will.
Yeah.
And they all sort of are with
Level
him
up, motherfuckers.
and supporting him in a lot of his decisions. And I love that they come together as a group. And then there is the whole side story with Amal and how all of that comes into it. And there is all of that otherism in there. There is lack of gender. There is where you came from, where I came from, where we all came from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so unifying. And I realized that how she did it is a little sci-fi and a little
Yeah.
fantasy, and it can get a little weird. I respect that it's too weird for some people. It's not too weird for me.
I love it. I'm really looking
It's
forward
not
to the
too weird
read.
for me. They are my absolute favorite. They're my
I love
absolute
that.
favorite.
I'm excited to read one of her books for the first time at the age that I
Mm.
am now. I think that's kind of cool. You know, like,
Okay, so I've got the Sleeping Beauty books queued up in my Libby app. Like
oh,
they're all
excellent.
tagged so that I can borrow them in sequence, and it's my plan to read them all sometime in 2026. And that's kind of how I feel. I've never read those actually. I
Yeah.
think I started the first one, but I was like, "Oh, they do things. I'm not ready for that actually."
There's bits and bobs. There's bits and
Yeah.
bobs.
I think I read it when I was like a 19-year-old feminist with a Ms. subscription, and I was like, this is not okay. 100%. And now, like, I'm 50 and I'm like, this okay.
It's all all okay.
All
It's
okay.
all okay now.
You know, you like what you like, ladies
Right.
and
I know
gentlemen.
there's no
and
judgment. You
babies.
go to you just sort of evolve right around. But
May
yeah.
we all
So-
evolve like Lestat.
Yeah. Right. I remember being sad that Armand was not the same size as Pandora was, and then Vittorio
Oh,
was
yeah.
the same size, and I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
that was weird.
All
You
the
know what I
books
mean?
were, yeah, they
they're
were.
because they're smaller, and I
Mhm.
really liked that because it was like this side series, and they were smaller. And then she came out with Armand, and I was like, well, you fucked that up.
Now it's back to the big books.
I want all my things to be the same.
I remember being mad. I was specifically mad that the Vampire Armand got called the Vampire Chronicles when I was like, but
Oh.
Lestat's still asleep. It doesn't
It's
count
not.
as
Right.
the Vampire Chronicles
Oh.
because he's not
Right.
talking yet.
Well,
Yeah.
bless his heart. He decided to take a fucking nap for 20 years.
But like, that's such a difficult question. Or, well, the total question is difficult because there are so many characters to love in this work. And then there's a few of them that you hate, but almost hating them is kind of loving them. It's just loving them in a negative way. And whenever
Yes.
it comes to, I mean, she does not write a whole lot of hateable characters. Even characters like Armand, who are despicable most of the time, have this, I don't know, like je ne sais quoi lovability to them, so that because they function as a good character.
That is so well put. That's going to make an excellent punctuation mark to at least one of these segments, Kyle. Tania, which is your favorite book of Anne's? I think you've read actually maybe more than Ashley and I. Neither one of us have read the Angel series,
I haven't read
for
the
instance.
Angel series. Yeah,
We haven't read the Wolf
all.
series either yet.
I've read every one of her books except for the Ramses books. I
Really?
don't know why I never read those. I
Oh.
just never, and that's my last name, so you figure I would read it, but no.
Sure, yeah.
But my favorite is The Witching Hour. Like
I fucking love
I-
The Witching Hour, Tania. I love
I-
it so much.
read it probably 12 times, and I'm actually
Oh.
listening to it again.
It's a
and the
good listen.
No, the narrator is horrible. I want
Is
to punch
it?
her in her face. Oh, my God.
It might be different than the one I listened to.
I was going to say there's a couple of editions out there,
Yeah,
depending upon whether
it's-
you're getting it like from your library or Audible, I think.
It's on Audible, and her voice is just. She does like these hard like P's and G's, and her accents are atrocious.
Oh no!
And it's like it's to the point where it's just background noise, and I'm not even paying attention to what she's saying.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It's horrible.
That is a bummer.
It's bad. But yeah, no,
it's because it's such a fucking big book. Like you really have to
Yeah.
pick it up and mean to read it when you read it. But if
Yes.
you could just have it on the background, I could probably listen to that twice a year. Easy.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's long enough to take up almost twice the year, so
It is.
it's
It is a haul. It is a haul
it's like
for sure.
50 some odd hours, 55 hours,
Mhm.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's a lot.
So, what is your favorite of her books?
Oh, the Vampire Lestat. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
there you go.
Absolutely.
I
I
like that not all the patrons have just told me that to patronize me, but I do like that so far I think it is the number one of the chosen books so
Oh,
far.
absolutely. I had never read like I said, I was a big Stephen King fan, and I love horror, and I do love to be like scared shitless from stuff I read. I love that my imagination can conjure that sort of thing. And I had never read anything as terrifying as like the Magnus moments and the stalking of Lelio and that sort of thing. To me, just gave me so many chills.
Yeah.
I just found it just there was just the whole roller coaster gamut of emotions in that book. So it's my love. It's my love, my number one.
It's never a wrong time to revisit that book. And I
No.
do think I was so worried when I reread it the last time for the show because at that point it had been I don't know, 4 or 5 years since I'd read it, and this genuinely does feel like a different time in my life now. It's like things have shifted gears. None of my children are small anymore.
Yeah.
Like Kelly and I are talking about like what does life look like after the kids are out of the house and things. We're thinking about like grandparent life, you know,
Yeah.
and also it's like I feel this desperation and mortality in my business and my career. I'm like, oh Jesus, I've only got like 25 years left to really race at this
Yeah.
thing, and then I do need to be cashing out in some way. What do I do anyway? All of those things piled up in one, and I was like, is Lestat still going to hit the same? Yes, he does.
Yes.
He hits
Yes.
every bit as hard.
Yes, he does. And reading it again is like reading it for the first time. Well, let me ask, have your kids read it? Have they read any of the books?
No, okay. So I have tried, just like with the theater life, I have tried very hard not to foist it on anybody, right? Because I was like, that's the way to make sure that they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I have, this has been bubbling in the background, especially for several years now for everybody as the show gets bigger and I do this more often. And so like they're very much hearing about this thing all the time.
Mhm.
Judah is the only one who have actually shown the show to. He and
Okay.
I watched the first episode together, my 17-year-old,
Yeah.
and he really enjoyed it. I will say he has not pushed for any more of it since then. And I
Well-
don't think he's been watching it by himself, but maybe he's got access to it on his devices. So maybe he has. I'll ask him actually, but nobody has come rushing to me. It occurred to me the other day. I think Derek actually said it in the Facebook group. The girls are now the age that I was when I read this series for the first time. And like, I don't know. It was obviously we all read these books too early probably. And yet
Sure.
like and yet at the same time it's a really safe way to deal with all of these topics. And as you begin to consider sexuality,
Mhm.
there's no safer sex than reading about it in a book, right?
Right.
Like at a remove, especially in these books where they don't even really have
No,
penetrative sex.
right.
So it's
The
like
organ does not work.
Yeah, exactly. So you can get sensuality and you can get romanticism and you can get deep despair. It's like I tell my kids all the time, like the reason we go on roller coasters, the reason we watch horror movies is so that we can experience those, we can literally train for the hard times in life. Like sometime your parents are going to die. Someday
Yeah.
you're going to have a serious illness that you'll have to face or something. Someday you might be in a bad car accident. All of those things are real tragedies that happen to us and will happen to all of us at some point in our lives. And so we can do fake tragedies occasionally through literature and through movies and roller coasters so that we can like test out how do you handle deep
Yeah.
depression and how do you come back out of it and how do you remember that things are still beautiful. Anyway, I haven't foisted it on them. I'm sort of crossing my fingers that Nola in particular, my youngest twin, might be down for one of the books this year. She's very much into goth stuff. She's very much
Okay.
into like dark romantic anime and things like that. And I'm like, man, you would eat this book up.
Really?
She's not really reading adult novels yet.
Yeah.
Neither of the girls are. And my 16-year-old has never been that big of a reader. He really likes nonfiction stuff is mostly what he reads.
Oh, okay.
He's going on a rash of wrestling memoirs right now. He's
Oh
read
my
like a ton of
goodness.
wrestler memoirs. Anyway,
Well, I mean, if you force anything on them, they're not going to want to do it.
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
not
Like,
cool, Dad. Yeah.
yeah.
No.
So I think they'll come to it. Like, I genuinely think, two or three out of the four will end up being big fans of this series long term, and someday they'll just come to the house like from college or something, right? Because a boyfriend turns them on to it, and they'll be like, "Dad, that book series you love is really amazing." I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I told you 15 years ago I started a podcast about it because it's
Yeah.
really good." I don't know. Anyway,
And
someday,
they'll still
Bran.
be there. They're going to be around forever, those books, man. So for generations to come. And that's so comforting to know that there's
Yeah.
gonna be like, future generations that are discover such a masterpiece.
So, and that's one of the reasons why I genuinely like doing this show, and I tell all of my clients that I end up producing shows for, I'm like, hey, one of the things you're doing is leaving a digital legacy for your descendants. So like, maybe none of my kids fall in love with these books, but one of my grandkids will someday, and then they'll go, wait a minute, Grandpa had a what? He did a what now?
It's a podcast.
There's a YouTube channel? And so now there's hundreds of episodes that they can go on this whole journey with me and hear me say silly things like, you know, these gay ass vampires or whatever.
That's really sweet. I never thought of it like that. Oh, what a legacy.
Genuinely, man. I think very much about that with the Dark Shadows thing. I'm the only person on YouTube that does Dark Shadows reactions, and there's 1,200 of them when I get through the whole thing. So it's like a decade of work that I'll put into it, basically.
It's always going to be there.
Yeah, and anybody that finds the show in the future, there's a chance that they might find me too. So I'm sort of excited about all of this. Since the last time we recorded, we've now gotten the news and the confirmation that season 3 of the TV show is not going to air until summer. And when is summer 2026? Somebody pointed out summer lasts until September, unfortunately. So we don't know exactly how quickly this is going to come. Obviously, we're all bummed. We wish it would be airing in April, or we wish it would be airing yesterday. But do you have any concerns about it? We've talked about like the Emmy. We're going to miss this Emmy window completely. You know, some of the folks have mentioned they were a little worried about the audience kind of forgetting it's there. Do you have any good argument for why it's a great idea that they've extended it to summer? I don't know. I just wondered if you had any input on that question.
I'm not getting it for my birthday.
Yeah, it's not going to premiere in April like we all imagined. It's going to premiere in the summer.
The main thing is it's disappointing that it's not coming sooner. But also I've seen a couple of people talk about this, and I don't know the details, but there's an Emmy consideration thing as well that goes along with coming into that, which I would like to see this show get lots of awards.
Yeah, so apparently you have to have had at least half of your season or something like that air by the second week of May. That's the cutoff. If they had run in April, then the season would have been eligible.
But now it won't be eligible until the next year.
Yeah, now it won't be eligible, that's been the position that they've been in. They've been early in the season.
Right,
and
way
so by
too
the time
early, so the hype's dead by the time
voting
it
is
runs.
going, yeah, everybody's
People have
forgotten
forgotten
about you
about it.
already. Yeah, yeah,
So
and you're
annoying.
maybe thinking about the next season. So yes, the Emmy consideration is my big concern. That is my only concern, honestly, really, is like for the show. I don't worry so much about us losing audience, but I do worry about the awards.
No, you're not going to lose any of us. I only worry, I don't worry about them taking a little extra time if they need it. Like, I'm not mad about that. If you need to take a little extra time for the editing, you know what? Babies, do it. It's fine. I can't get everything for my birthday.
Well, the one thing I will say, and this is most noticeable recently with projects like Stranger Things, usually if they're taking whiles in between seasons, they're doing so out of this state of necessity for either quality content or, like scheduling conflicts or things. But generally speaking, if you have a decent window of time and people are still interested enough that they're going to wait for that production, and I think that, the Vampire Lestat is definitely going to be a good jumping off point. I mean, the interview has been amazing, but everybody who knows this fandom, who's probably researched into the fandom because of interview, knows that stuff doesn't pop off until after interview. So I think everybody's sitting at the racing lines ready for things to go. And that anticipation is going to build whether there's a good reason for it or not. And whenever we do finally get it, it is going to be a roller coaster. I very recently introduced a new person to the show who had never read anything by Anne Rice, never seen the 94 film, and we just breezed right through interview, and she's like, okay, what's next? I was like, well, we've got Talamasca, or Mayfair is available, but it's Mayfair.
It's technically connected.
And I was like, yeah, the next season's coming out, and she's just like, oh. So I do love that this pretty much any medium of this show, or any medium of this universe, Queen of the Damned notwithstanding, is a good way of making people intrigued to see more or want to hear these stories because they are very beautiful in multiple ways.
Is there some good reason for it, in your opinion? I've not heard anybody make a great argument for it yet,
I haven't
honestly.
either. And,
Yeah.
there's so many variables of why that could be, why they had to push it back. I don't
Sure.
like the whole that they're not going to be eligible for Emmy noms and that sort of thing. That's really shitty. But I have had faith in the showrunners. I know this is more the network, I guess, really, but I'm hoping my thing is that now we have several months before we get to see them again. I hope that they use this time to really promote the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And just take and put Sam in everything. I know that, tour is not really going to happen, but I need him on every talk show. I need him to make appearances everywhere. I want him on Hot Ones. I want him on the
Yes.
BuzzFeed puppy interview, leading up to it. I need them to take this time to go hardcore. I have a feeling that they will, though. I don't know. It's very promising so far, the stuff that they're doing.
If they had renewed Talamasca, I might make the argument that they're finally queuing us up for some continuity because like Mayfair season 3 is almost done filming at this
Yeah.
point if it's not already wrapped. I think it might be wrapped actually, but it's close to if not done. And we've got Talamasca hanging out there now, so if we're going to push Lestat all the way to the summer, and somebody pointed out September is the summer too technically as long as they go early. I'm like, please don't wait.
No.
Please don't wait until September. But let's say they go to June or July, and then Mayfair could be done in time for like a late winter release, maybe. And then we could, if they started soon, we could have Talamasca in the spring or early summer of 2027. And now we're rolling, right? Like you could, that's what we all want is we want some continuity instead of letting this thing go by fits and spurts.
Yeah, and I know we're all like really just gunning for some more Mayfair, but I just if they can continue to give us crumbs like they've been doing, just the little teasers here and there throughout the months, I hope that it keeps everyone interested. I mean, bottom line is the people like us, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna wait forever for this. I mean, it's been 2 fucking years at this point, so let's go. But my concern is just kind of trying to expand to a larger audience, which it deserves.
It's nuts to me that it was 2 years. It's going to be 2 years in between seasons.
Yeah.
And this time they don't have a pandemic or a strike or none of those things got in the way this time. Like, that's a real bummer, man.
I mean, I would love to have it like next month, but the new, what's that called? Game of Thrones show is coming on. So that'll tide
House
me
of
over a little
Dragons
bit.
back next month?
No, the new one.
the other one.
Oh,
yeah, Duncan Egg.
not
Yeah,
gonna talk
A
about
Knight of
that.
Seven Kingdoms.
Because I'm so
but
mad
no,
at that man. He owes me a book.
right. It's
Okay.
never going to get written. But
Let me make a
I
pitch
think-
though. Wait a minute. I want to make a pitch, Ashley, because so listen, the Duncan Egg stories are really, really good.
They're so
Duncan,
cute.
Duncan the Tall is Brienne of Tarth's ancestor, first of all.
Okay,
Yes.
fine.
And I'm not going to spoil who Egg is, but Egg matters too.
Yeah,
It's a cool knight and a little boy. Like that's what the
Fucking
stories
fine,
are about.
but that man still owes me a book.
Yes.
Well, he wrote these. He wrote these already, so they can make the show for like 4 or 5 seasons, probably. I don't know how long they intend this one to run, but I think this one is going to be. And the early reviews have been very, very good for this one too.
Yes.
So I think this is going to be a big hit.
I waited to watch House of Dragon for a really fucking long time. Just
I
'cause
still
was
haven't
so
started
pissed.
it. I
And
still
oh
haven't
my
started it.
It's so
No.
good. It's
I've
so
heard
good.
it's good.
I
Yeah.
like gobbled it up in like 3 days. I
The
was just like,
cinematography is just amazing.
yeah, the dragons
Okay.
look, and there's a lot of dragon, and it looks.
There's a
good.
lot of dragons.
Ashley and I, Kelly and I are watching Stranger Things right now with the girls, and we have gotten through season 2 and started season 3, and she and I were watching episode 3 and 4 last night, I think, with them, and something happened. I can't remember the specific sequence, but there was some moment, and Kelly like tapped me on the shoulder. She was like, "You can really tell the budget increase that they got between season 2 and season 3 when it was a clear hit. Like they were already
Yeah.
spending money on it in the early seasons, but
Yeah.
my guess is that House of Dragons basically benefits from like it's got the late seasons of Game of Thrones money,
Yeah.
not the early seasons of Game of Thrones money,
Yeah.
right?
If
Yeah.
we had had this kind of money in Game of Thrones early seasons, we would have had way more dire wolf action.
Yes.
Not just direwolves, but like, do you remember when all of a sudden they started showing battles? Like,
Yeah.
we went 3 seasons or 4 seasons and they never showed a large
And when we'd
field
see
battle.
the encampment afterwards, yeah.
And then we went 3 seasons in a row where they were like, it's battles wall to wall, baby. Yeah. Anyway,
What a gift.
Tania, are you gonna be with us next year at Halloween? I can't remember whether you. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, and
Sweet.
I'm dragging my husband with me because he's just like
Excellent.
when the Interview with the Vampire first came out, he was like, I'm not watching this shit. I don't care about it. And then it was like after I think it was the second episode, he was like, okay, now what's going on?
Yeah,
Who's that?
exactly.
Pretty
Why?
interesting.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
What? And then he was just asking me when you guys were talking to Derek about it not coming out until the summer. He's like, really? It's not going to be out until the summer?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's never read any of the books. I've tried to get him to read them, but no, he's based solely on the TV show, and then I fill him in on the details that he's missing.
Yeah. I think that's
you might-
pretty much how Brett is too.
Yeah.
Kelly
yeah, he
asked
really
me on
liked
the
the
way
show.
down to New Orleans this year. She was like, is it going to be all Anne Rice all weekend? And I'm like, no, it's going to be touristy New Orleans all weekend with a bunch of people who happen to be able to opine about Anne Rice if you want them to. So, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you can look forward to. We're going to talk about Anne Rice for
Well-
part of it. We're mostly just going to enjoy New Orleans with a bunch of cool people the rest of the time. So
And
there you go.
also, our spouses, along with our buddy Stuart and his partner Carrie, started a group that they have called the Articulate Others. They decided they even came up
Cute.
with a fucking gang sign while we were down there.
They did.
So tell him he'll be fine. There's plenty of
Yeah.
other folks that will talk to him about whatever he wants.
We may have to make a +1 shirt just for
that'd
the
be
folks
so
who drug along
funny.
on the trip, right?
Oh my
That's a
god!
good idea.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just here because my wife said we were going on vacation.
I'm here because
And-
she's hoping to get bitten by a vampire. So
Yes.
Jane, one final question for you. I appreciate you hanging out with us for a little while today. When did you find our show and how did you come upon the Articulate Coven?
Oh, it would probably be a couple of years back. I was looking for stuff generally, and I found a few things. I think AMC had done something, but then I don't think they continued it. So I found it through internet searches, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
I told
I think-
Ashley when we first got together, I said, hey, we're the only ones doing it. When we first started, we were literally we were the only podcast with the name Anne Rice anywhere in our title or description. And so a couple of other shows, some book shows, had done a single episode about Anne's work or a single episode about one of her novels, but nobody had done a whole show about it. And I was like, Google, just if we just put it up, Google eventually will find our people. It'll just take a while. It took longer than I wish it had, but I am so glad you found us.
Yeah, it was just that. I think I was doing internet searches and it came up and I could get it through the app I use. So that was it. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you so much for just listening, and your feedback and your comments are always great, and your commentary and the give and take with the audience and people like you especially is exactly why Ashley and I enjoy doing this so much for so long now.
Oh, I think it's brilliant, and the amount of stuff you do and the quality. There's just nothing else like that, like it out there. I really, really appreciate it.
I'll slide you your bonus for those kind words later, Jane.
And thanks very much. Oh, and the fact, I think also, of course, the fact that you covered Talamasca and actually took it seriously, and so many people have just knocked it. And I mean, okay, I don't think it's the greatest TV ever, but it's enjoyable. It was fun.
It was very fun. It especially was up Ashley's alley because she is such a spy fan and a mystery fan. First of all, we're here for the long haul, and unless this turns into hate watching, we're going to watch
Yeah.
everything that they put out. That is our line, and we won't cross it. If Mayfair, especially, we're a little worried if season 3 gets to the point where all we can say is, my mama told me a long time ago, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all,
Yeah.
right? So if we can't find something to enjoy, but it's every one of Anne's books is not a stellar 5 out of 5 star, amazing book.
No.
There's some misses for
there's
sure.
some.
But even in the misses, there are things to celebrate and things to enjoy,
Yes.
and there are themes to drag out and discuss. And so that's what we try to do. And we appreciate that we've got an audience that wants to have that conversation too. So thank you so much, Jane.
Yes, no, thank you. And thank you for being able to do this time. That's brilliant.
I think that, God, how did I find you guys? I think that I was in another Facebook group. Yes, I was in another Facebook group that I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
And I think someone shared something from your Facebook group, and I was like, well, let me check this out. And I was like, well, this is what I've been wanting. I've been wanting a community that's actually talking about the book. I mean, yeah, we can lust over Sam Reed, it's fine, but
She's
I was,
delicious.
it's okay. But it was just the conversation, the dialogue about the books in the show I found much more appealing. And then of course I listened to the pod, and I was like, oh yeah, I feel like we could hang out, these two. And then we got to, and that was pretty dope. So
It's
yeah, it just felt like friends sitting around just chatting and shooting the shit. So I was like, that's more my speed. And yeah, loved it.
Y'all, Ashley in one of the previous recordings talked about, and I think actually maybe one of the other patrons said this first. Maybe it was Jolie even said that it feels like the Facebook group is a place. She talks about it to people in her life like she went to hang out at the bar with her buddies. We were in the group earlier and XYZ, etc. But like meeting some of you all in person, and the fact that it was we got to meet like 50 or 60 of you this last time, and the idea that in 26 maybe we're going to do 200 or 300. It's so exciting, man.
That'd
It
be
is
cool, man.
it is so exciting. It's so
Just
exciting.
the momentum is amazing. I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm glad to be here along for the ride for sure. It's awesome.
None of this happens without you all. Like genuinely, the Facebook group isn't what it is, and the podcast isn't even what it is because of me and Ashley. It's like we just come along each week and scoop up the scraps and then like present them. We're very good servers. That's what we are.
Yeah,
We're very good servers. You all are doing the hard work so often. The commentary that you all provide and like the discussions and the way that you help us police the group. That's the other thing. And I don't know that I've mentioned this specifically with anybody else. But it's like we do a good job trying to vet people. It's not a public thing. You have to join and you have to answer questions or whatever. But I also try not to be an asshole to make people jump through hoops to come join the conversation, right? However, the first couple of times that somebody steps out of line and makes it clear that they're not going to be into this welcoming space that we're creating.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Goodbye now.
Don't talk shit about the show, everybody.
I mean, if you can talk shit about the show in a creative and constructive way and an interesting way. Like, I will say I'm still occasionally surprised by folks in the group that don't watch the show at all, or that don't enjoy, that have tried and don't enjoy the show. And I'm like, I'm glad that you still enjoy us, but also what is it exactly about us that you enjoy?
Yeah, right. Why are you here?
I'm glad they do. And that shows how much we love the books, I guess, because we do talk about more than just the show. And like, even if you disagree with us on the adaptations, we still get to the heart of what Anne was trying to do, I think, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I've
No.
read the Mayfair series.
You.
Yeah, I read those.
Like,
Fucking
actually,
A.
now you mention it, I just saw somebody I hate more.
I read, yeah. So no, I was thinking, because I was like, oh, I really hate that one dude in the Mayfair. No, but yeah, I read those too. I haven't
Who
read
is
the
it
Wolf
that you hate
Gibbs
so
or
much in the Mayfair
Ramses.
books? Julian?
No, oh no, I love him.
I love.
I
Okay, I
love
was gonna
those
say.
books. That book is
Yeah.
one of those. I say it all the time in the group. Those books are fucking horrific.
Oh, they're so
They
terrible.
are
I'm
in
like,
the horror genre because they
yes.
are fucking horrific. Like I
Body
listen to it and I'm
horror.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Body horror, rape, forced incest,
Oh my
all, like
God,
that's
so
all.
much of it is awful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude, the doctor guy, her friend, Lark, is that his name?
Oh,
Oh, on the
okay.
show.
Oh,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate that guy.
And he's not, so Lark is not a direct translation from the books, but there is a
Right.
character that he's based on from
Yeah.
Tautos, I think, right? Yeah.
That's
He
who I'm
shows up
talking
in the
about.
later books. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
had been.
he shows up.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the guy from the books. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just, he like wants to help her, but is also sketchy, but also like, I'm pretty sure this is a guy that took her job in the beginning. Like she calls him to kind of help him. He was douchey in
Oh,
the beginning as
yeah.
well. Yeah, just his whole character
Yeah.
was gross. He's definitely
I
not the
forgot
same,
about that.
obviously, in the books because they
I
No.
need
the
to.
show is
I
so bad.
need to reread those last 2 books again.
Mm.
In the TV show, like they literally just take names and assign them to whole different characters, and then they take a
Yeah.
whole character
I
and
don't
assign
wanna-
it a different name.
I don't want to have
So-
a seizure right now thinking about
Yeah,
Mayfair.
we don't have to talk about it. It's really awful.
I don't want to have.
So bad.
I do love, though, as a button on your section of this episode that you're like, oh, yeah, I did read the Mayfair. I did read that, like, roughly 70 hours of books about witches.
Twice. If only
All
we
right.
could
Y'all,
read the
it
series.
is ADHD, autism. It is all of the things. You don't remember people. You don't remember shit you did last week. You're like, oh, fuck, that's right. I
It's-
did bring my lunch today.
I did
So-
bring my lunch.
No one
today.
remembers
I did
that.
bring my lunch today. So, Jolie, first of all, I want to say thank you for just supporting the show and being part of our community and
Yeah,
love you
the
guys.
feedback. I've been telling everybody, like, it's the money is very helpful, thank you, but also the feedback, the way that you guys share and bring new ideas to us, and it
Yeah.
makes the show better too, but also it makes all of this so much more enjoyable for me and
Yeah.
Ashley. Like, we like these books and we like the TV show anyway, but when we have the conversation with you all, it's like, oh, it is an entire fucking hobby now. Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
so good.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I like
thank
that
you.
there's so many people that are totally down to talk about like whatever. You know
The
what I mean?
weirdest shit too. Like
Yeah,
let's
the
pick
weirdest shit.
apart
blood
this.
piss. Let's
Yeah,
talk
blood
about
piss.
it.
Let's
I'm like, I'm
do
fucking here
this.
for it. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Do
many
you have
people.
a strong
I
opinion
keep
about
getting
it?
feedback.
Let's discuss it.
At least
doesn't
once a
exist.
day. At least once a day, I get some comment about the blood piss, either the shorts or the episode. I get a new comment from somebody that's
That's
like,
hilarious.
"Here's my thoughts on blood urine."
Here's my
actually,
take on the blood piss.
I mean,
there's
it's a pretty
been some very convincing ones.
It's a pretty striking thing, you know?
You should go see your physician if you are pissing blood. That's my PSA.
If this is an emergency, hang up now and dial 911.
And dial 911.
Actually, that just made me flash back. I'm sure they did this when you were there too. When we did outdoor drama in Ohio, it was a place called Blue Jacket, and in the bathrooms there were posters that were put up, printouts that were put up on all the urinal stall doors, and it would say, "Does your pee look like that?" And there was like a clear box
mhm.
and a yellow box and a dark yellow
Shut
box.
up.
We
And
had
it'd be
we
like,
had to stay
"This
so
is good."
hydrated because that stage was 3 acres of fucking sand.
Oh my
And
God.
we ran and rode horses
Oh,
and
God.
ran and rode horse and ran
And
and
ran.
and
Ran some
fought
more.
and shot some cannons and then ran some
And then
more.
when we were off the clock, we drank and smoked weed and
Mhm.
had sex until it was time to come back
Yeah.
and ride horses and run and,
And
shoot
then-
cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's dehydrate
was-
yourself some more.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
The water reminders were important, is all
They
I'm saying.
really
So,
were. God bless us all.
I've never peed blood, but my pee has been an alarming color before. Let's just say it like
That is dark.
That's dork.
That is dark.
Oh, God.
It's helped a lot of people, to be honest. Like just the vibe from the Facebook group. I feel like I was telling my husband because he was like, "So you're podcasting again?" And I was like, used to be involved in an alcohol network podcast group, and
Oh,
when
cool.
you sell booze, you podcast and do a lot of online tastings. We launched a bottled in bond product line during the 2020 shut down. So there was a lot of podcasting, and it just got to
Yeah.
be, and it's all late. Like it's all
Yeah.
late.
Yeah. Yeah. Late
It's
at
always
night.
done really late. And especially if you're like meeting someone that is in Canada or London or
Mhm.
whatever, and you know, it's fun. You get to talk to a lot of people. But I was telling my husband, it's different. I said, this place, like the Facebook book group, like it's a place for me in my head.
Mhm.
It's a place.
Yeah, it is. It feels like a
I
place.
go to my place when I'm so busy at work, like my job takes up a lot of my time. I work at home, I work not at home, and it's new for me too. So I'm just like drinking from a fire hose
Mhm.
constantly. And so sometimes, and I'm also trying to dial back on my social media because
Right.
it's too fucking much.
Mhm.
Because
It'll
again,
just make you mad.
you're
It's
also
it's
drinking
meant to
from
make
a
all of us
fire
mad.
hose.
Yes.
Yes.
And I
Yep.
hate that. And I don't want to hate my friends.
No.
And I know my friends aren't what I'm reading online either. You know what I mean?
No.
Like that,
Yeah.
this craziness, I don't.
We need to be
Anyway.
informed, right? Like we do need to
Yes.
check in once in a while and understand what is going on, but we have to figure out a way to do that for each one of us, whoever's listening to this. If you're
Mhm.
having this, if you're like, yeah, I do feel like that all the time when I'm scrolling
Mhm.
Facebook, they want you to be angry.
They want
So
you to
like
feel like
figure out
that.
either control your feed. Like my feed is so
Mhm.
fucking curated, I can't
Yeah,
even
mine
tell
is
you.
too.
Mhm.
I would say judicious use of that snooze button, y'all.
Mm.
Just snooze them. They don't know you
Mm.
snoozed
Snooze,
them. 30 days.
unfollow.
30
Agreed.
Yeah.
days. You can
Yeah.
give them another shot in 30 days if they're
Yeah.
still annoying the shit out of you. Then you just snooze them again,
Yeah.
and then twice. You've done it twice. Now you can unfollow on the third.
And on the fourth,
And they
I
don't
can
even
just
know
block
about
your
that.
ass.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
But all of that to say, I was explaining to my husband, like I was super excited, and I was like, no, because this place is different. First of
It
all,
is.
it's a place in my head. It's a place. It's a safe place. I told Andy, that's my husband, we talk about vampires, right? And all of the other things. Like I tried to read some of Anne's other stuff and just wasn't into it. But
Mhm.
fucking A, if we're all gonna read it, then I'm down, right?
Right.
Body double my ass. I'll read it.
Yeah.
That sounds
Let's
awesome.
do this. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a safe place because you can, like, we, in the course of just this half hour, however long we've been doing it, we've talked about like how many things, and you can roll in and out of conversations without
Yeah.
the fear of somebody being like, what? You know,
Right.
and you can say it's an LGBTQ plus pro environment,
Mhm.
right? We're like, go meet a trans person if you don't know one.
Mhm.
Go hang out with some gay friends. If you don't have any, go make some.
Yeah.
Like it's a place where all of those things plus crazy vampire and gay sex, because it is super homoerotic.
Yeah.
It is 100% homoerotic. And if you don't think it is, then I mean, you need to go back and read it. You read it when you were like 14 and you didn't get it is really what
Right.
it is.
Right.
And that's okay too. That's okay too.
No, yes.
You
we
were
all-
not as advanced as the rest of us, and that's fine.
You didn't
Jolene.
watch.
Sounds like you might not be now.
Patrick, I appreciate you so much for joining us tonight and talking with us a little bit. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for hanging out and joining the conversation and sharing and feeding back. And genuinely, this whole thing is so much more fun with y'all along for
Oh
the
my
ride.
God. And
Thank
also,
you
it's really
guys
good to
for-
see your face and hear your voice again.
There you go. Thank you guys for everything you do. I really appreciate the community. Yeah, I was looking for Anne Rice podcast and I found you guys and like binged your whole roller coaster first few years of like various different incarnations
Such a strange
of the
time.
show.
One
But it's so
episode
great
every
to like
6 months.
meet you guys and hang out.
Yeah, I
Dude.
love it.
We are so excited to have met you too, and we're so looking forward to seeing you and your partner back with us in 2027 together in person. We're looking forward to it.
Have a fabulous wedding and good luck.
I
and
know,
everything
right?
goes wonderfully.
I'm trying to keep it small, but it's not happening. So
It'd be like the weddings grow. Joel had two guests that were very undercover at his wedding.
I wish I
That's
only
true,
had
I
two
did.
guests. But, yeah.
I
Yeah.
had two babies sneak into mine
Yeah.
in Kelly's belly, so I don't think that's going to be a problem for you, Patrick. It's
You'll
yours.
be okay, Patrick.
You know, we keep trying, and I'm beginning to think it's not meant to happen. But you know what? It's the effort
important to
that
keep
is
trying.
what matters.
It's true.
There's some paperwork that we got to get you to fill out first, I think, actually. There's some in triplicate forms that we'll need to file.
Well, we're hoping it's still legal to get married next October, so we'll see how it goes.
Listen, we're working on turning this thing around,
God
Patrick.
bless
We're going to do
us.
our best to swing hard in between here and even next Halloween.
It was nothing that I expected. Nothing went according to plan except for the ticketed events, and it was absolutely incredible every step of the way. It really was the laugh in your face that like life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. And yeah, I didn't get to hear a lot of Kyle's bit. I was trying to figure out my headset and everything, so I didn't catch most of what he said. But
He was bragging on
was
you as a sugar mama. He said
Oh.
he said you brought it up, and he was like, oh yeah, I'd love to come, but I wish I could afford that. And she went,
Actually, it was kind of the opposite. Like I approached him in that because much like Natalie said, I was just going to go alone. Very similar to that. From the moment Christopher announced it, I was no matter come hell or high water, I was going to make this trip. I was going to be in New Orleans for this. I remember when they did the second line, maybe like a month or so after she had passed, I was asking everyone I know, like, who's got a car? Who wants to make a day trip? Like, who wants to go spend 15 minutes, grab a sandwich, and then come back to Galveston? But I was committed. Like, no matter what happened, I was going to be there. But it was incredible because I asked him, I like you said, I bought the ticket, and I was ready. I was just going to go by myself. I was going to do it all by myself. And I realized I didn't want to. And so much of our relationship had been founded on our connection of Anne Rice. And it had been 10 years. We talked about going to Twin Peaks, Washington for our 10-year, whatever anniversary it was. And that didn't work out. But like New Orleans just seemed so appropriate. And I did. I made it all happen. Some of you know the things I've jumped through life in the last 2 years with hurricanes and everything. And like, just to get there and make it happen and to be in this city, it was magical. It was intoxicating. I wept at every corner. I sat in the grass at Jackson Square, and I literally touched grass and wept. And I stood there and I felt those bells ring out, and it felt like those bells ringing through time to every soul that had ever stood in that city and heard those bells. And then to get to meet all of you and the anxiety of like, am I going to make it? I'm chasing dots on a map and to finally just show up and it be as comfortable and casual because like you said, we know plenty about you, but y'all don't know much about us. And sure, I can argue with you in my living room, but you don't know and to get to have those conversations and y'all are real people. And also to have had my parents in my head for a very long time that like the weird things are why no one's going to like you. These things are what's going to separate you. This is what's going to keep you out of the world. And to find only the opposite, that I traveled to this city and met my coven and to feel family and to have been bonded by people through her work, like it was a dream come true. And so like, yeah, exploring the city for the first time, but also just having this huge fuck you in my head to everyone who ever said like, that is what's going to make you other and isolated. Like, no, that is what brings me together. I talk about the things that I struggle with very openly, and that is what makes people feel comfortable coming to me with those same things. And the idea that we can have this open line of communication, not just about her works, but about us as individuals. Like, thank you, Joel and Ashley. Like, y'all made that space for us, and to make it real in person was like, fuck, we're doing this. Like, we're committed. Like, we're in it. Yeah, it was incredible. And to have Kyle was invaluable. Like,
it was really special. Kyle was great, by the way. But listen, it's not just me and Ashley. It's Anne. I was just listening to you and I was thinking, there are a lot of beautiful blonde vampires in fiction, but there is only one Lestat. And it is not because he's sexy and 6 feet tall and charismatic. It's because he shares his brokenness. He shares his vulnerability. He shares his unease. He shares his lack of confidence when it is there. He shares when he feels himself and reminds everybody 6 foot's not bad.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
today, right?
same,
Yes,
same,
it's both.
yeah.
It's all the things. We all showed up, and we dressed. I talked so much when we left about how good everybody looked. Everybody was so beautiful, and they were all dressed wonderfully, and like they're showing off, and we're showing out, and we're enjoying ourselves,
Yeah.
even though we're all little weird nerdy freaks. Like, yeah, man. Anne did this, honestly. First and foremost,
Yeah.
Anne did this, and the fact that we've all found each other through her works and through building community for ourselves it's really magic. So thank you for being a big part of it.
Yeah. Thank you, Joel.
How did you discover Articulate Coven and come join us?
I am obviously a huge fan, and I'm a huge fan of the show. You guys, the show is so good. It just nails the spirit of that book for me. Like, it was just perfection. And I was really hesitant about the changes that they made, and I thought the changes were perfection. I loved their take on Louis. I loved updating the time, and I would never have thought about doing that. And it worked so brilliantly on so many levels. The addition of Storyville and what he was doing, it's just so good. And so I was thrilled with the show, and I'm like a little lone island. I'm like the only person who loves this thing, in my family and amongst my friends. And so it was just kind of lonely. And I was like, this show is so good. You guys need to watch this show, and you need to read these books. And nobody's listening to me. I feel kind of like, who was this first guy who I came in on? He was speaking. He was saying like he's the, like the apologist. He's the evangelist.
You came in for Zach Brown.
Zach, yeah. Zach's like, everybody needs to watch the show. Yes, I was feeling that way, and no one I knew was watching the show. And I was like, well, I have to find a podcast to listen to people talk about my favorite show. And so actually, I bumped along. I found another one before I found yours, and I was like, this is good. And then I found you guys, and I was like, oh, this is great. They are amazing. I will not say the first one that I stumbled across, but I was like, oh, these are my people.
Folks ask me all the time and I do understand, like, as much as Ashley and I do, we're only doing like an hour, maybe an hour and a half a week for you all most weeks, and they're like, oh, hey, what else should I listen to? I could never give advice. The primary reason that I can never give advice on that is because I try not to listen to other commentary on these shows and books, because I don't want to just
colors
repeat somebody.
Yeah,
I'll say somebody else's opinion and forget that it's not my own, right?
Yeah.
But also, and this is more, when they say things that I don't agree with and I can't actually interrupt them to tell them how they're wrong, right? So this is 9 years ago. I'm in my bedroom and I see the news that Anne has announced she's got the rights back. And I told my wife, I'm like, somebody else is going to talk about this show and it's going to piss me off so much. So I'll just talk about it instead, and I won't have to listen to them talk about it.
So good. It's so good. I love it so much. I mean, I heard your voices and I was just like, oh, these are my people. They are so good. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. Or I'm like, no, I don't agree. I mean, it was like the Gabrielle stuff. I was arguing with you guys in my car. You wouldn't know that, but now you do. But yeah, it just, you just built a community, and I feel so blessed to be here.
I am so glad that you're a part of it, Mandy. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Happy holidays.
You too.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us. We'll talk again
Thank
soon.
you, guys. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye.
All right. Derek, thank you so much for being a patron. Thank you for joining us and sharing your story with us. We sure do appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was so great to see you, Derek.
Yeah, it's so great to see y'all and talk to y'all.
We're so excited to be with you in person too in New Orleans at Halloween. Yay!
Yes, I got my bonus check from work, and I started purchasing tickets for things.
Hell yeah!
And so I got my tickets for 26. Then I bought the first thing for 27 as well. So I'm Next time, I'm all in.
You're
We are
all
so
set. It's going to be
excited.
so much
It was
fun.
so much fun this last trip. I can't wait to have more of you guys there.
All right. Anyway, Tania, thank you so much for being there early and so supportive
all the
of us all the
time.
way, all the time. Exactly, man. Like we really appreciate you. Your great contributions in the group and great
Yeah.
contributions in comments and stuff on the show. So we appreciate you so much.
Well, I appreciate you guys just existing.
It's so awesome to meet you in real life, almost real life.
Almost real life.
We're so close. Halloween.
So close.
It's gonna happen.
Yes. I got to find a hotel reservations.
Yeah,
we've
don't we all?
got lots of suggestions if you need help with that. So
I am currently working on a hotel to get our group book, and so we'll get a group deal there. And nobody has to book there, but if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh yeah, I want to book too, I'm going to try to get that done ASAP. By the way, but I want to get one that is sort of closer to the space that we're going to be in for the
Canals
theater.
Yeah,
if you go all the way, because we're going to be at the New Millenia Theater for the show on Friday night, which is sort of on the other side of the quarter from where most of us stayed the last time. So I'm working on that, though. Watch the Patreon especially will be the best place, but the Facebook group will put out announcements, and they'll be in the show description for the episodes, too, once those are up. So watch out for the details on how you can join us and travel to New Orleans next Halloween. All right. Thank you, Tania, so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for joining us in New Orleans. Thank you for your support for the show, and thank you for hanging out with us a little while today.
Absolutely. I love being here.
Brian, thank you so much for being a patron. Thank you for spending some time with me today.
It's been cool. I appreciate it. I can't wait to see you in October.
I know. Yay. All right, Natalie, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for all of the great feedback. Thank you for being on this show. Thank you for joining us in New Orleans and for bringing some friends along, too.
Thank you so much for having me, and I love this community, and hello and happy holidays to all of you.
Oh, yeah, the very dip. I got one thing I want to quickly say hi to everyone.
Please.
See you at your end, everybody.
Hello, Anne. So, for those of you who weren't with us in New Orleans, Zach brought that signed photo of Anne to New Orleans for the celebration. If you go look at some of the coverage that's in our Facebook group, I think it was on NOLA.com that did the video that featured you, right?
Oh, yeah,
Zach?
NOLA. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it was so cool, man. They're filming down the line, and there he is.
Oh, yeah. The little tidbit, little trivia to anybody that watched that clip. In the background, you will hear the second half of Elliot Goldenthal's Born to Darkness Part 1 from the soundtrack to the 94 film. That was because I was blaring it on my phone while I was, waiting in line, because what other music are we going to be playing at this point? So if you listen carefully, this will kind of tend to be the second time in that soundtrack's history any of the film music has been used somewhere else. Just random news clip with this weird-ass guy. So, hey, Elliot Goldenthal, if you're listening to this, re-release your soundtrack already, man. We need that shit on vinyl.
I genuinely have heard just the rumblings, the beginnings of rumblings, that there might be some possibilities for an anniversary celebration of the film coming up. And who knows, if they do that, I imagine they'll do it all, including the soundtrack re-release on vinyl and everything else too. Thank you again to everyone who supports us and watches this and listens to us wherever you do it. Thank you to all of our commenters. Thank you to everybody who emails us. Thank you especially to everybody who joined us in New Orleans for Halloween 2025, and all the folks who have already signed up to join us for Halloween 2026. If you want to get into that number, if you're a patron, then you've got access to the tickets already. It's at the top of our Patreon page. Go over there right now. Even if you're a free patron, by the way, you can get access to it. If you're not a patron, then go to articulatecoven.com/events, and you can get info there as soon as the tickets are available for the public. You can also go ahead and sign up now for our 2027 live stream access, which will guarantee you a ticket to the 2027 live event whenever those go on sale officially. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful 2025, and we'll see you fresh to start the new year with our book club episodes discussing Prince Lestat, the first novel in the final trilogy of the Vampire Chronicles from Anne Rice. it's going to be a big 2026 as well, because we're going to get season 3 of the Interview with the Vampire TV series from AMC and AMC Plus. They're calling it the Vampire Lestat now, and they're hinting that it's only part 1 of a 2-season storyline. And we'll get together in New Orleans for the Articulate Coven 2026 Convergence in the new Marigny Theater, where we, me and Ashley and Rose Sinister, will all perform live on stage for you. We'll have some great meetups for our VIPs across the weekend too. Join us, and join us next week for more great podcasts. Until next time, I am Joel, she's been Ashley, and we are always the Articulate Coven. Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.